streaming. Because I've got kind of work to do as well, so I'm gonna kind of be in and out. So I didn't want there to be any dead air kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Right, there, that's done. Let's bring this back.
Yeah, this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said this, yeah, this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said, yeah, this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said, this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me.
Hey, good morning, Simon. Good morning, Jill. How you guys doing? We got the what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put that straight in there. So, guys, I'm gonna be in and out today. I've opened up the Hangout if anyone wants to come in and have a chat. Hey Chris, good morning. Red, good morning.
Morning.
Amanda, good morning. Yeah, work's really picking up, so I had to make a decision today. Hey John, how you doing? Hey, can someone just check that Hangout? Just click that link, just see if it comes, get into the Hangout or not. You don't have to come in and talk, I just want to see if you actually come in, if it works. It should do. Liv?
I usually come back to that from YouTube page.
Yeah, guys, that's in the back chat. For any guys that want to come in there, the link's in the back chat. It should work. Yeah, one man, come in. You're welcome to come in, dude. Are you in there? Are you in? Yeah, works fine. Okay.
You'll have to admit them if you're not there, kind of thing. They won't be able to get in then.
Hey, yo, I only know what I see. I see
Yeah.
enough to know what it means to me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
From red dirt and I got degrees. Beat off
Alright, love, how you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Not too bad.
I'm feeling pretty cool, Simon, to be honest with you. Not too bad.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm feeling good today. It's been, well, you're the first people I've spoken to since my brother passed, so actually on air. Oh, Chris wants to join as well. Cool.
Are we talking live now as well?
Yeah, we're live now. Yeah, we're live, guys. We're live, so...
Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
So I was just saying that, you know, you're the first people I've spoken to since my brother passed, and I've been kind of, you know, a bit up and down and stuff, but today I'm feeling okay. It just sort of comes in waves, you know. 1 minute you're okay, next minute it just sort of hits you again. So
Yeah, I guess it's the healing process, mate, and hopefully as time goes on, you know, not that you want to forget your bro, but I mean, it's that feeling of that loss, and you start thinking of happier times, I'm sure, buddy. It's a process, isn't it?
yeah, for sure, 100%. It's a process that you've got to go through the grieving. I mean, a lot of people kind of block that out and stuff, but I didn't. You know, I'm not that sort of person. I'd rather let the emotions out, just because you can get a lot of, you know, sort of, let's say, side effects if you keep your emotions in, right? You know, if you don't let that grieving out, it can come back and bite you in the arse.
Yeah, it's not as if you ever get closure, because you'll end up, you know, with a loss to quite a close one. You could be doing anything, and just bang, it'll hit you, you know, and you just stop for a moment, and because you've dealt with that before, you realise that you carry on, whereas people have been blocking it out. It hits them harder each time as time goes on, I guess. I'm talking from experience, I suppose, from my own perspective, but yeah, what you say makes sense. You have to deal with that, you know.
Yeah. Did you get any full closure on exactly what it was?
Because my brother was a bit of a rogue. Yeah, he was one of those lovable rogues, you know.
Life liver.
Yeah, you know, he enjoyed life to the max, and he never did anything in halves. So it was always to the top and a bit more. So when my brother got into drugs, it wasn't pretty. You know, he just went way too far with it and kind of ruined his life. And I think that had a massive part to do with it. But he was in such a state, he was getting prescribed. Well, this is what he was getting prescribed of his doctor: diazepam, liazepam or something, and methadone. And that's what they found in his system. But there's going to be a massive inquiry next year, because doctors shouldn't be prescribing that amount of drugs to one person. And that's what was found in his system: high levels of those drugs.
Well, them drugs are what are meant to be taking them off the bad drugs, supposedly, you know, bringing them down to a position where they can stop all drugs, you know, and not piling them up with more drugs.
Yeah. I mean, there should be a system out there that sort of, you know, can wean people off, not let them to their own devices when they're doing it, kind of thing. You know, because what they do, they just give them the drugs and go, right, that's it, you know, on your way.
Yeah.
So, you know, it isn't being looked at constantly. You need someone there going, right, this is what you take today, take it and go. You know, instead of giving it all to them. And it's a shame, you know, really a shame the way that it all went. But I'm glad there's going to be an inquiry to it. You know, so hopefully some people, other people won't suffer like that. Because he was suffering in the end. He was, and it was a shame. I'm trying to still work out what I'm doing on this. Hold on, guys.
How was he like you or like us with what's going on in the world? I mean, even everything with
he never really thought about it. Some of the questions I put to him, it wasn't that he wasn't interested. I just don't think his mind could sort of cope with the questions, right? He was so set in his ways, and he believed in God, and you know, all this stuff, and he was watching a lot of TV all the time, and I was telling him all the time, turn that TV off. It's turning your brain to mush, honestly. And he wouldn't. He was so stuck in his ways, and he went to sleep one night and didn't wake up the next morning.
it's not the worst way, that's for sure. But
Yeah. A lot of people have said that, Si, to be honest. A lot of people have said that.
yeah.
They said, that's not it's not a bad way to go, you know. I wouldn't mind going like that. I've heard a couple of people say that. I wouldn't mind going like that. So, is everyone's volume okay? Out in the
Well,
chat.
your volume's fine. Everyone else I've heard seems fine. Chris is nice and fine, and Lev seems fine, and I can only leave it to you to hear how I sound.
Yeah, I think I'm there now. I'm just still sort of tweaking it in, yeah.
Nice one.
Trying to get it all tweaked in.
All right, right, Brendan, how you doing, pal? Thanks for last night, mate. Very enjoyable.
Hey, Brendan,
What-
pop in if you want. Listen, Bren, I'm sorry I missed that. I'll come on and see that you'd had a little hangout, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, I don't get any links or anything.
Have you not got the bell button on?
Yes.
I've just recently, I'd say the last 2 months, realised I'm getting unsubbed from certain people.
Yeah.
So it's always the ones that I watch the most. I have certain subscribes that I haven't watched. They haven't put anything up for half a year, and they're still there, no problem. But the ones that I regularly watch or tune into, they're starting to pop off now and then, and you don't notice until I watched another stream somewhere else saying, "Hey, I'm Dave's" the other day, and I thought, but Dave hasn't been streaming. I haven't seen anything, and I realised I was unsubbed from his second channel, which is this one.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. That kind of happens to me as well. I sub to someone, I put the notifications on. When I go back, I'm still subbed, but the notifications won't be on.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
YouTube.
I've heard that it's like, you know, when they make an update to YouTube, which is quite regular, then that affects it sometimes. So you have to unsubscribe and resub, and then it resets it, and then you'll start getting the notifications again.
Well, it's not just notifications, Lev. It's completely gone. No subscribe to them anymore. The channel's
Wow.
not actually there.
Yeah, that's
Just literally
strange.
It's done that to me as well. Like I've had all of them. Like I've had to resub like several times because like suddenly I'm not subscribed anymore. That's like Martin Leakers, which often
Yeah.
with him kind of thing.
But
It's
I mean,
like why, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, when YouTube started, there was no problem with this. There was never anybody being unsubscribed, and it's only come since YouTube got a tsunami of, let's say, conspiracy artists coming up and putting their videos up, and it started, from what I can see, it started then.
Yeah. It used to work. Everything used to be user friendly. You know what I mean? It's like they're making everything less user friendly when you become more dependent on it. You know what I mean? So it's like even like with food, when they improve the recipe, and it's not as good anymore. You know what I mean? It's got less authentic food in it, and it doesn't taste as good.
But the money that
but
these
according
fuckers
to them.
earn, the money that these fellas pull in, and they can't fix such a little issue, because it's a big issue, really. Not the paper that people dish out. Big issue. It's as in they're the people that
Got a
you
massive
really
issue.
want to, you know, you don't want to keep juggling around YouTube to find somebody interesting to listen to, and that's the reason why they subscribe you. But that they pull you off these subscriptions is, for me, is a big mistake, and he's looking at. But yeah, who gets to talk to YouTube? And, you know, send him a letter if you care.
YouTube's gone crazy, Simon. I mean, I don't know if you're getting these little bars coming up in the bottom right hand corner going, YouTube is updating. I never used to get this come up.
I've never had that. I've only had when it's not running well. I have find out what's wrong, or find out what's going on, because sometimes it's buffering, and that's to do with the signals being sent back and forward between countries and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, well, I'm getting this box saying YouTube updating in the background now.
I've never had that. I've never seen that.
That's what I'm getting at the moment. So I don't know what the hell they're doing over
They're
there.
in your piece, mate. They're in your.
I've probably had it. I've probably had that come up now for the last 2 months, and I've never seen it before. Ever seen it before? It's just recently popping up, and I'm just like, okay, you're
And there's
updating.
something to do with different areas that each, like YouTube is not just one company based in what each country more or less has their own YouTube departments, and it could be to do with that, you know, that as the user here, we think it's
Hey,
just all,
the man himself.
all one entity, you know, YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not, it's a company that's split up around the world, and each department has their own control, and and it could be your department that you're clapped up to is running different than other departments. It's because I've never seen anything of updates in YouTube whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought it might be something to do with the AI they're updating, and they're putting the emphasis on that as opposed to all the links, that connections. It may have, it may break down somewhere. They just don't really care because it'll sort itself out. They expected people to police their own channels, but I think it would go some to. But then again, the strength of the AI is in itself, isn't it? So I think the emphasis is getting that sorted, and then whatever falls by the wayside is what it is, you know.
But by the claim, they shouldn't be updating AI. AI should be updating itself.
Well, yeah, that's what
If
I
you
mean.
know what I mean.
Yeah, self-learning, isn't it?
So
So
it's not really AI yet, really, if you're updating it. But it's all,
True,
it's all.
Oh shit! What have I just done? Hello? Oh no! What have I just done? Oh dear. Oh fuck it. Oh my god. Fuck's sake. Let's try again, shall we? Please stay in there, stay in there, stay in there, stay in there.
Sausage.
Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
just-
Sorry, guys. Oh, sorry. I exited out of everything. Oh
Hey.
god. I've got to set up YouTube again. Just bear with us.
Stop picking things. It's that easy done.
No,
It's a
what I did, I've got the keyboard on this like little table, and like the side of the mouse sort of clicks on the edge of the keyboard, and everything just vanished. I don't know what the hell. And now I've got to set up YouTube again. I was just like going, oh no, fucking hell! Everyone's going mental.
Yeah, but you're still streaming for what I can see on YouTube.
yeah,
I'm still streaming. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bizarre. I've
Brendan had the same problem
Oh,
last night. He
Yeah,
was
don't
meant
even
to be-
go there. I had two. In the end, I had two
Yeah, two
streams
channels,
running. I was running from two different channels because I was trying to use two different cameras, and that was the only way I could do it, by using two different streams on two channels, and it got a bit confusing.
wow. How do I
Yeah.
do this then? Because if I'm running now, if I
Don't
open...
ask me. I look to you for advice.
God. I ain't
Well,
got
right
a
now,
Scooby, mate. Honestly, I
No.
really ain't.
I did a hangout once with a computer behind me with a camera on it. So I was streaming my face to the camera, doing an experiment, whilst the camera behind me was recording also on a live stream. My behind, so the behind the camera could actually see what I was doing whilst I was talking into the other camera. That got a bit confusing.
Oh, God.
I just did it. I did it for a laugh, but it was quite effective.
That's
But,
way too much.
obviously, you know.
Morning,
I think
Bert.
I've got to shut down. I think I've got to shut down them other YouTube channels and
Well, it's
restart it.
strange. Your channel now, Dave, is streaming the main YouTube channel, and it's just, I mean, there's somebody using it because it's flicking round.
Is
We
that
can,
me? I'm like flicking from tab to tab at the moment.
Yeah, that's showing. That's showing.
that's
on
showing
live.
you are streaming live right now. Everything from what I can
Yeah.
see, it should be.
How do I then?
What are you
Oh,
looking
yes.
for?
Screen sharing then, or
Yeah, because
some-
I don't know. Right, if I go into that, see, I'll show you how I'll set it up. I'll go into this, go into your channel, then I'll set this side of it up. I get the list into here with all the music and stuff, and then that's what I mean. I've got to create a new YouTube to see the Hangout now.
What do you mean to see the chat? Oh no, the Hangout. You closed the Hangout down.
Yeah, I can't see the Hangout. I can't see who's in there. So
Was that not that one that you've got next to Google Hangouts? You've got two open there.
no, that's the meetup. That's our meetup. That's what we're in at the moment. So I've got Google Hangouts. And then I've got the Meet tab. Then I've got the YouTube tab, which will be going live from. And then I've got the list of everything in there.
I only came in for a chat. I didn't really expect to sort problems.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable, Chris, isn't it?
How long have you been doing this, Dave?
It's hard work. I know, but you know what I'm like.
Pushing buttons.
Have a couple of spliffs and all that goes out the window, doesn't it?
Is it the YouTube stream page that you closed down by accident?
Yeah, that's what I've done.
Yeah. Shit, I've never tried that, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think
what if
you're
I go
right,
into the actual YouTube studio?
Yeah, it should be still there then. All you've done is close down the thing. That's
You
dangerous.
re-enter, don't you? You
Yeah, so
re-enter.
you'll just bring it back up again. Should do.
Right, so if I take all these tabs out, these YouTube tabs out, then go into... No, I've got to go from here, and So if I go...
Now keep this one up, keep that one up, and then just go into, like you would start a new stream up. And then it should come up showing that you're already streaming. So there you go.
Oh, what, from here? So you go into YouTube...
Well, from then, just open a new page, just open a new one,
a YouTube...
and then go into YouTube Studios, and then I'm thinking it should pop up.
What a numpty. God, Right, let's check this out. Oh, I've got another strike.
Already?
2 out of 3. What's that?
How can you get a strike from us talking? There you go.
No, this is another one. Oh, no, I've deleted it. It's okay.
I thought it might have been the sausage.
Sausages.
Sausage. Just say sausage.
Sausages.
It messes with the AI, you know?
I can't find it.
Remember
Content.
down on the beach.
What, your sausage? Can't he find his sausage? Did he say?
Just say sausage.
No, David just said he can't find it.
No. Oh, right. Yeah.
The sausage.
Oi. So if I open this up, is this going to take...
There you go, live. Click on that one there. No, that should just take it to the actual page.
How comes you can actually see what David's doing and all I can see is...
Because I'm watching the YouTube page.
YouTube
You would
page.
watch normally from the
right, okay.
chat. You just have to, of course, mute it so you don't hear it at the same time.
Oh, I'm going to have to close this down.
Can they actually hear us talking then?
I think they can, yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll go through. Hello, Baron. I'll do your job there for you.
Video
Hello,
link.
Baron. How you doing, mates? Hello, Ingested Red. How you doing, pal? Welcome. Boris, Vertec. How you doing, mate? Since he's working overtime, just put a thumbs up in the chat if you can all hear us going on here. Yeah, someone's wrote bacon.
Something's happening.
Chaos.
Something's happening. Hold on. Oh, I've got the chat back.
There you go.
I've got the chat
Houston,
back.
we have a problem.
Right, now I'm getting all this weird stuff happening.
I mean, all you
Welcome
need
to my world.
No. I can hear myself in the background talking. So
then you've got your YouTube page open at the same time. You just need to mute it. You know, like when people come in and they say, mute your YouTube page.
hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Oh dear, I've completely messed this up, guys. Remind me, never wake and bake again before Hangout. Remind me, please. Next time, do not smoke weed, Dave, before you open up my Hangout, because it's going to mess you
No,
up.
you must always do that.
I do try, Brad. I do try. Right, guys, you're going to have to bear with us for 10 minutes. I'm just going to restart all this.
See you later.
No, what I can do, I can leave the Google Hangouts and stuff going, can't I? Just reset up
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
all right,
so long
guys.
as you come back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, all right, guys. People out on YouTube, I do apologise. Hey, blood. I do apologise.
Lower class
Hey,
chats.
blood.
See you later.
Blood.
Hello there.
Oh,
Let's,
yeah.
Okay, man.
Thank you, very well, thank you.
let's go again.
Morning, blood.
Good morning, Simon.
Blood clot, no, huh?
Easy now.
Rasta man.
Easy now. Bomber claps.
Aye.
Fly for the belly button blood, yeah, man.
Go on, aye.
Blood. I
What's happening? What's
see
going on?
that little vid that you put on into the back chat. Nice, man. Really nice. I don't
How
really
do I
want
get
to.
into the back chat?
Really want to say too much, but yeah, what I see was lovely. What I see was lovely, mate. Lovely.
Hold on.
What's back chat?
Yeah, exactly. What? I'm going to be pushing buttons here, so excuse me for a minute.
You're in there, Rob's Realm. You're in one of the members.
That's on there.
You're not in there, one man.
Let's
In
start.
where?
The back chat.
All right.
The back.
Oh,
Hang
shit.
out.
I was
Hey, I'm still live. No.
Fucking live.
Hold on.
The world.
Oh, what? Oh, God. this happened before. I remember.
I have no idea what that bat chat is and where to get it.
Hangouts.
I pressed on that camera, and that doesn't work.
My channel. Right. Let's see if this works.
Well, I've gone to the meet page and opened up the chats, but there's nothing in there where you can send a message to everyone. That's not it, is it?
In-call message.
Activities, whiteboarding.
I wonder if I'm gonna get
No,
two
you're not
going.
invited to Chris.
I see Brendan's found the chat as well.
I'm going into YouTube Creator now. Oh, it's coming up. Oh, it's all come back up. Okay, yeah, sorted. Lovely, lovely.
If in doubt, give it a clout. Chuck a fucking spanner in it.
I need to shut the old toolbox at this one, mate. It's just right. Yeah, right. Yeah, good, lovely.
Hey, I forgot what I would come in to talk about now.
Sorry about that, guys. Really, I do apologise.
No worries, mate. It's the real world.
So we're there. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Hey, people.
So the question is, can the rest of them hear us now?
Yeah, I think they can. Amanda, can you hear us okay?
I can.
Brendan and everyone in here can fine. We're just seeing if the chat.
I know.
All
You're
right,
so
Anna,
gullible
how you doing, mate?
sometimes.
boot the. Yeah. Hey, Honor, how you doing, senses? Everyone out there? Yeah, all right, everything's fine, guys. Oh, bloody hell.
Sorry.
Don't panic, Mr. Mandarin.
Right, is it time to close the hangout now? It's been going for 4 hours.
It's pointless going down the gym. I might as well just set up a hangout. That'll keep you fit enough. Bloody hell, man. Oh, shit. So, how is everybody? How's everyone?
Hanging.
You all good, yeah?
Yeah.
What's
Alright.
anyone else sort of pissed off about the direction of Flat Earth and the way it's going? Is it just me? Am I overreacting? Or?
I mean, it's a bit inevitable with what's going on. I mean, it's all multifaceted, and part of the plan, I'm quite sure, is just to weed out the critical thinkers, whether it be Flat Earth or just that the whole thing's a scam and always has been a scam. It's a method of weeding out the non-wanted people, the non-compliant people, and that's all I can see that this is. They know full well that millions and millions of people. It's almost biblical in a sense with the wheat from the tares.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying there, Simon. But we've got tangibles. We've got water, so it can't be.
Yeah, I'm not sorry, Dave. I'm not on about that. I'm meaning about what's happening with the flat Earth and why it's fading out because of what's happening with the Rona.
Oh right, yeah.
It's in people's minds so much. It's just putting even the hardiest people into small traumatic. I'm going through it as well. As, you know, whether wakes up and I have days where I don't feel human enough. I just don't feel I can. It's also a reason why I haven't really done that many streams since. I just hit a wall of I lost my mojo, and it's all because of what's going on, and your mind's just fractaling out into so many different thoughts in so many different areas. I'm trying to keep my mind on flat Earth, but then you get, you catch the news about what they're doing, the lockdowns. You hear what they're doing in Australia, New Zealand, and it just splatters the mind a bit, and you're left exhausted.
I mean, what is going on with all that? So you think the flat Earth was to weed out everyone that isn't going along with the narrative?
It depends on what's going on. Are they trying to push us so far that we bring the system down? Because we've got to remember this system that's created worldwide is so big and so thick, so powerful that them that's in charge, they kind of run, they control it, but it's us, the people, that run it as a machine. And without us, they cannot bring this system down. So they literally need us to bring it down for them.
Yeah.
Because it's us that support it. It's us that go out every day and do the work, earn the money, this, that, and the other. And it's tied literally to our life, our one life that we have here on this earth, whatever it is, besides the point of the what, where, and why, And
They
they
need to make his own system.
Yeah,
they
it's
need
this,
us just as much as they're planning to bring this shit down, and that's why they're pushing people so far, like with this mandatory vaccine, knowing full well what the psyche of humans is today, that we will react in this certain way. That there's no way that we could accept this tyrannical, unified government of the world. So to be able to create a one world government, you have to bring all governments down to be able to create that one world government. And how do we do that? It's us that has to make it look legitimate, has to make it look natural.
Yeah.
That we naturally brought down our governments and made a brand new system where we govern ourselves. And that would be a one world government, if you think about it, that we are governing ourselves, seemingly governing ourselves, and not anymore having these politicians who govern us for us.
Yeah, there's many paths to the same goal that they've already probably evaluated, and something happens, and they create a reaction to that to set it off on another path, which is aiming for the same goal.
Yeah.
So there's many routes to it.
Multifaceted, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they've got it all worked out. They have had it all worked out for years, and
Hundreds, no.
yeah, for decades. The
well,
whole thing.
yeah, they've tried it before, haven't they? They've
They
tried
have.
this.
The whole thing with the, if you even go back to the oil, they used oil as the main energy source throughout the world, and everyone was tied into it, the whole monetary system as well. Once they'd made enough money to be able to perpetuate the technology, they got to a certain point where the technology was good enough to take over that control completely and get everybody entrenched into that technology. And once they did that, they could pull the plug. But they started with this rescinding the oil technology by creating the climate change program from the 70s. But the same people that were using that pushed the oil are the same people basically that started with this climate change theory to actually make the move away from oil that much easier, because all the tech is now in. And I've said for a few years that basically once we're all on electrical power, we are completely stuffed.
Yeah, dependence on it, absolutely, yeah.
Completely.
They're doing the same thing with the crypto, Chris. Do you think
well,
if
yes.
everyone tapped into the crypto, then they're going to pull the plug on it, kind of?
Yeah, that's what I felt with that as well. That it's
I think, yeah, I agree. I think that's probably crypto's biggest downfall is the fact that it's controlled by electric. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, it's controlled by your belief in it, because it's a belief. It's non-existent. It's numbers on a screen.
Simon, I want to say one thing. You don't lose your mojo, mate. You just forget, and it'll be back. It'll be back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. But again, it's just like you said with what you're going through as well, Dave. It's this up and down. I suffer from quite a bit of anxiety. I had it a couple of weeks back where I get it to where it's nearly crippling.
I spoke about that on my stream last night, didn't I, Simon?
You did. Yeah. I've actually found a bit of a cure to it recently. Something that I have had around me for years and didn't think about it. And that is these, Dave will know what I'm on about, these CFL bulbs that you use for growing.
Yeah.
Not the high sodium pressure ones, just the CFL ones. And it's the same kind of lights that they use in sunbeds.
More a natural light, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a 250 watt one that I use for clones, but I lay under that for half an hour every day. And since I've done that, the anxiety has just disappeared.
Wow.
That's got a wide range of spectrum on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, I have a full spectrum one. They cost
It is, yeah.
35 quid or something like that. You have to buy the connector and the shade.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got a 400 watt CFL, massive big bulb.
Yeah,
Huge.
yeah.
The bulb's massive. It's got like rings, big rings on it.
Yeah, it's like glass tubes that go up and down.
Yeah. And I use that for vegging, and it's perfect.
Well, stick your head
Absolutely
under that for half an hour a day if you're feeling down. Because, I mean, the blanketing here in Denmark, at least, it's just been, I haven't seen the sunshine in literally 3 weeks. If it comes out, it's for a split second. I turn my head when I'm cleaning windows and try and get some of it, and then it's gone again. And it's just literally grey blanket. So you're not getting any sunshine for days and days and days. And yeah, that affects people. It certainly affects me.
Yeah, that affects me. Not a lack of sunshine. It really does affect me massively. I'm definitely a sunshine kind of person. You know, I love the heat in the summer. You know, I couldn't get enough of it really.
I
Yeah, I
can
do
fully
too.
recommend doing that. If you don't have one, buy one. They're not that expensive to set up. There's different bulbs. I keep on the same Danish. Different pairs bulbs. No, it's bulbs. Yeah, from 150 watt to 200 watt to 300 watts. And I've got one at 250 watt.
Yeah.
And, I can feel when I come out the room, back into my front room, everything seems dark. My light bulbs, it's like these light bulbs are not giving any light. And that's another thing from when they changed these filament light bulbs that we used to have in the 80s and early 90s. There's a reason why they changed them out, and it had fuck all to do with energy saving, I can tell you. It's to do with the kind of condensate light that comes from them and how it affects you. For sure.
Yeah.
The different light frequency and stuff like.
These
at
LEDs
work.
you get now, they just make you fucking depressed.
At Royal Mail, they installed new lights when I was working there last few years ago. Were like a lot brighter, and they told me that it's because it tricks your brain into making you believe that it's daytime. So like, obviously the night shift and all that kind of thing, they're going to work better. So you know what I mean. But that's disorientating your natural body clock and all that kind of thing. Isn't it? I mean, working nights is anyway, but.
It's the same with these screens that we have, LED screens. It's LED lights, and it's why people stay up late and they have it difficult going to sleep because there's a blue light behind it. You can buy these glasses, but I don't trust them. I just think they're a gimmick. I don't know, but suppose you can put screens over your screen to block the light. You know what the fuck? Why don't they just
Is it
put
like
it
a filter? Does it filter out? Does it filter out the blue light or something?
Yeah, it filters out some kind of light that it doesn't trigger this sleep thing. That you feel awake, that it's daytime. But why wouldn't they do that? Why do you have to buy something extra? Just if you know that it's affecting people, then put it automatically into the screen. But no, of course not. They'll leave it for you to work that out and find that out when you're already fucked up and you can't sleep.
It's supposed to have been gone through all those safety protocols, and you know what I mean. That's why people have put trust in the government and all that kind of stuff. So it's like all that stuff should already be taken care of. The fact that there's all these, that should be like an insurance claim, shouldn't it?
I mean, you've got to be insane these days, haven't you, to trust the government? Is that just me? Or...
No.
Oh yeah, these days, you know what I mean. It's with that much truth out.
It's the fear of. I say it quite often, and it's very, very simple in a sense that it's the fear of if that's not true what they're telling me, then that means, and 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 they can't handle that, and I fully admit.
Yeah, they're scared to go there. They're scared to come out of their comfortable bubble, aren't they? They're just people are so ingrained in the system that if you tell them something that doesn't fit, they're normally gonna sort of.
And it doesn't take much at all. It takes the smallest little thing. We don't realise as ourselves, it's normal for us that how, in a sense, how brave we are to let our minds accept these things, to bring them in, ponder over them, chew over them, instead of just rejecting them straight away and sticking your head in the sand. It's
We've got to find an answer, haven't we? It's like it's either like you said, sticking your head in the sand or face it, because we've got no other choice really.
No, it's the fight or flight.
Yeah, I've always been the
Sticking
face it person. Let's get it out in the open, and I've always been like that. But the government's completely the opposite. You know, they hold things back. They don't tell you the full truth. They might give you half a truth and a lot of lies.
They've got an agenda.
It's just.
If you run away from the fight, you're only running away from something you have to face later on. So face it when you meet it straight away. And that's what our parents, unfortunately, have not taught our children, or me. I had to learn it myself. But I came from a very rough background in Manchester. So I faced it from as soon as I came out the front door.
Manchester's a rough area. Manchester and parts of London. Yeah. Well, I think all cities have got them rough areas. Even towns. I live in a town. We've got a rough area in this town. People. And it's kind of round where I live, unfortunately.
It's the rich, the medium, and the poor. It's the classes that are divided, even down into the small towns. You have certain areas, and you all know that's where the scummy bastards live up there. You know.
Yeah, it all kind of changed in this town. I would say in the early 90s, well, kind of mid-90s when all the heroin started coming in, and you could see it. You could see it in people that were being affected by it. You see someone that you've known for 10, 20 years, you ain't seen for a few years, been on heroin, and he looks a complete mess, right? And it seems to filter down from the cities into the towns, and it's just
Well, the reason why I asked about your brother and how he felt about the whole situation of the whole story of life and lies, that a lot of people, even though they seem to be like, no, I don't believe in all that stuff, subconsciously they kind of do. And to do such heavy drugs, to put yourself so fucking blanked out, even with alcohol, is an escape. It's an escape from something that we don't want to have to face, the ultimate fears.
Yeah. I think my brother was doing that, Simon. I really do.
And he
I
doesn't
think
realise he's doing it. I don't think, bless my mum, I don't think she was doing it either without she drank. About many things I can look back on and think, these were nice people, these were nice, loving, caring people. Why did they choose to ruin themselves like that? And you can't get it out of them because they ultimately don't know themselves, really. They've got so far down the road that it's just a normal reaction to do from when you feel the anxiety or fear or depression coming on. You just jump for your drugs so you can just disconnect. It's almost, instead of going to sleep, I'm not tired, so I'll go to sleep by taking all this and still be awake and still be,
well, it just zombifies you, doesn't it? Them sort of things, they zombify you and turn you into a zombie.
Because when I get that anxiety, the best thing for me is just go to bed and go to sleep. Because when my brain turns off, the anxiety turns off. But when I wake up, within 15 minutes, I can feel it creeping back on. And it's a weird thing because you're like, I'm not thinking of anything. I'm just fucking blanking my mind out. But here it comes again, and it's all from the subconscious, if you ask me.
All right, guys.
It's a very sorry, Dave. It's a very social thing when you think about it. When you have these areas of towns, and okay, so you're going to have the odd rogue family as such, but if you look at it on a wider social scale, I guess the whole system's designed. You're educated to a certain level, you're told full of lies, and you come out and why do people drink, or why did they get into this state? Usually people say there's got to be more to life than this, and they're actually stuck in a rut and not being able to push out, and they still have to pay to survive, and people just give up that hope and find an out, and it's a relief of that. And people say surely there's more to life than this, and there is. It's just that we've been corralled into a small narrative of being able to support the system, and if you can't, then you're judged as scum, or you are going to fight then, aren't you? Because the reason why these people are who they are is because they're the ones that haven't been able to successfully navigate the system in a way that makes them have a better living. And if that's a measure of, I don't know, at the end of the day, every society has its problems, and like Dave was saying, towns have like these bad areas. I've known some bad areas, but I've known some really, really decent people from those areas, salt of the earth people. You could talk to these people, and honestly, just don't get on the wrong side of them, though. But it's they will come down on you heavy, and they're basically that way because they're protecting themselves all the time.
Gypsy life.
Losing hope stuck out there for me.
Yeah.
Instead about people just losing hope, and
exactly.
It happened with my brother. My brother used to have a spark in his eye. He had all this energy, and once he got into all that he just lost it all. It just all deteriorated, and it's a sad sight.
Yeah, I watched an undercover guy that was got into a drug ring up in Liverpool or Manchester, around that area, and he said that the biggest thing he learned from the whole thing, from his experience, and he got in quite deep, and he was in it for about 3 years. He had to come out in the end. He was doing he just couldn't handle it anymore, and he said what they should be doing is not getting the people in charge of them for drug trafficking. They should be actually legalizing this stuff, because it's all the trauma that comes through within all this infighting and the selling of the drugs. And they're dealing with people that are selling the drugs, but when they should be looking at the whole system. And he said there's so many decent people that have been caught into the system and have had lives wasted. And he said the people that are controlling it, they're the people they want to get rid of. And the only way to do that, he said, is to somehow legalize these drugs. And I thought, wow, that, you know, he's not pro-drug, but he wants to get rid of the whole system. That he said, because there'll always be customers, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
You can fight the war on drugs. He said it'll always be there.
Supply and demand, right?
Absolutely. He said, you know, he thought he was going to make a difference. He said he didn't even scratch the surface.
I mean, we know that a lot of these drugs, cocaine, amphetamines, they're mixed through government agents. The government have full control of what's coming into it. I used to think as a kid, if they really, really, really wanted to stop all these drugs coming in, they could do. But they don't want to, if you ask me. They're part of it. And I stopped taking certain things. I stopped smoking hash that you could buy from the town because it gave me headaches. It made me feel crap. And the day after, it took me half a day, a whole day sometimes, to kind of get over it. And then I started making my own, doing it ecologically, and I've never felt so clearer. It's just not it's just not the same substance anymore, in a way.
Well, going back to the 90s, one of the biggest cocaine dealers back in the 90s, early 90s, I forgot his name. He was running all the rave scenes, but he got into the importing cocaine. And I see like an interview with him, and he had all the port people down at where is it in London? Where they come in? I forgot what it's called, but he had all the people on the port, you know, all the people, security, all paid off.
Yeah.
All of them. So they would bring in containers, right? Big containers full of it. From Colombia and South America, pay off everybody, and then just bring it straight in.
Cocaine is
and politicians were paid off. Unbelievable.
paid off.
Unbelievable.
And that shit gets mixed and mixed. That's why, I mean, I haven't done it for many, 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 many years. And any time I did it, it was somebody was saying, "Hey, aside, do you want some of this?" You know, if anything, a lot of people, when they're doing it, they'll actually give you some, so they're not doing it on their own.
Yeah.
You know, because then they feel like, God, I'm the only one doing this. Hey, do you want a line? You sure you don't want a line? No, it's free, mate. You can have some if you want.
But that's it. That's why I stopped going out. That's the exact reason why I stopped going out.
Talking, but nobody's listening.
Yes.
It used to do my fucking head in.
Simon.
And
You got like 4 or 5 people on cocaine talking at once. It's just one of the
You
funniest.
sit with your mates in the pub, and you can't get a conversation going because everybody's getting up, going to the toilet every 30 fucking seconds. You know, you're like, can't we all just sit down and have a car? Back in a second, Si, 1 minute. You know, down in the toilet again. And then, you know, who left that and who's got that? And all of a sudden, I remember there so many times there was an argument about who's got what left and who didn't share that with that last time and this, that, and the other. It's your turn now and all that.
Well, when you're in a pub, people on cocaine stick out like a sore thumb, don't they? They got froth around their mouth, like these white things in the corner of their mouths, eyes bulging at their heads. Can't stop talking.
Yeah, the only people dancing to the shite music. I mean,
I try to sing along to the guy who's singing his own music. I've done that when I'm singing in the pubs. I'm playing my music. It's my own music. I made it myself. And I'm watching this group of guys singing along, and I'm like, they haven't got a fucking clue what the lyrics are. What are they singing to? It's because they're off the tits, thinking they know the song.
But I sing like that all the time, Simon.
could you imagine a hangout here like now with us all on cocaine? It would make it happen.
Oh, no.
Well, statistics say there must be at least one of us. Right here, right now. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, I stopped that many moons ago. I see how it destroys lives. You know,
I was going to say of how much in society in every country. I know here in Denmark it's absolutely rabid. It's hard to find somebody who doesn't. And with how much it's mixed and mixed through the process of where it comes from and what it is mixed and mixed with, you can only take a guess. But I remember that clip from Cheech and Chong, where he's in the kitchen there and he's got borax that's fallen onto this paper plate by accident. And he's cutting it up, putting it into lines and saying, "Yeah, man, if this was real, this looks good, yeah." And that woman comes in and said, "Where have you been all my life?" And she whacks it up her nose and goes through that scene of doing an elephant. And she goes, "Wow, that's good shit." And he goes, "It is?" And it was funny. I've seen it many times, and there's only recently I realised that was them telling you what's in your cocaine. Yes, bit of cocaine in there somewhere, mixed down in it, but ultimately it's under the fucking kitchen powders that's been mixed with it.
Well, they actually use like a baby teething powder.
Baby powder, sugar,
Yeah,
grind,
baby teething powder, because it kind of numbs. It's got the same kind of numbing effect. So they put that in there, and you barely notice it.
I've
But-
even heard of blood glass powder.
Hey,
Put
Baron,
it
hold
down
on,
to
mate.
particulates, and that scrapes the nose. That's why a lot get nosebleeds. It scrapes the nose so much that it gets.
Hey, Baron.
Aha, Baron.
Hey.
But also, what I want to say was that if we look at society and how much fucking cancer there is in society, and we don't once turn around and look at this white powder that everybody's sticking down their nose, and how much that was probably creating cancers because we don't know what's in that white powder.
It's a bad scene to get into. My mate at the moment, he's in prison for doing it. Yeah, he got 6 years altogether. He's in his last year now, and he should be out in June. But he got right into that scene. And, he was doing big bits, showing me. And I was saying to him, "You got to be really careful. This is going to come on top one day." He was like, "Nah, I'm all right. A couple of weeks later, massive raids in Essex, and he got caught up in it. He got put down. The top guys above him, they got 10 to 15. He got 5 because he was just holding on to it for him and running about. He was still earning £1,000 a week doing that. £1,000 a week he was earning just for driving his car and dropping bits off here and there. But yeah, they were on him. They were helicoptering him and everything, following him down the road in helicopters and stuff. And it was lucky because we was doing the records from this warehouse kind of thing, and I didn't know. Well, I did kind of know, but I sort of just let it go over my head. Yeah, it was kind of the front, and he was doing all the bits in the back while I was doing the records in the front. And one day they followed him home. In fact, that day, the day before, I was with him and he dropped me off. The next day, they followed him home, caught him, arrested him, and now he's doing a lot of bird for it. But he's learnt his lesson for sure, and he won't ever be going back and doing that again.
Well, cocaine ruins your life in many different ways. Even if you don't get caught, it's still ruining your life, But again, ultimately, it's because it's what's been mixed with it. The original people down there, they just take the leaf like they do with cats, like the Somalians with that stuff that's called cat. They just take the leaf, ram a load in their mouth, and just chew on that shit all day. And they did the same with cocaine leaves. What they do is just take a load of them in your mouth. You started chewing it down into a pulp, and slowly and surely you'll have that effect come on. But what they did now is they wanted to concentrate that effect. And so that's why we got cocaine as it is today.
Well, Simon, didn't the natives chew the leaves for altitude sickness? Don't they chew it for a reason?
That's right. The Gurkhas in just an example, Mount Everest, around Mount Everest, this area there, that they would take coca leaves, and it was more not only the altitude sickness, but also for energy, for extra strength as you're getting altitude sickness, which just zaps the strength out of you, literally. So it was more of it was like the bombers used to do in the Second World War, where they'd take a lot of amphetamine to be able to get that far, to do a 13-hour flight over Germany and then a 13-hour flight back again and still be awake.
Yes, I was, Amanda. I was very, very lucky. I was like, the next day after that all happened, I was thinking, someone's watching over me. They must be, for that to happen in the way it did. He get arrested the day after he drops me off. I was just blown away, and I actually had a safe here, and he was bringing little bits around and I was just holding them onto him for him, and he didn't come round for 4 days while I had that here. I went fucking mental. When I see him, I went absolutely mad. I said, "Get this out." I phoned him up and said, "Look, I'm taking this over the field and I'm dumping it." That's what I said to him. He goes, "Don't do that, don't do that." I said, "You get round here now, you get this out of here now, or I'm going to go and dump it." And he had bits and pieces in there, and he come round.
I bet he Linford Christed down
Yeah,
that fucking road.
He did. He was round within 5 minutes and got rid of it. So, yeah, I was very, very lucky not to get pulled into all that. I could have very easily, and I might not been here today, to be honest with you. If I
Well, the
did.
very fact that they obviously had been following him for some time, and you were obviously somebody that was just on the fringes of being dropped off. So they probably got your number straight away, Dave. You know, they probably knew you weren't involved better than more than you did. You know.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was thinking that they must have seen me with him. They must have done, because he was picking me up nearly every other day.
Yeah.
He was dropping me off at the warehouse where we was doing the records, but then he'd go away, come back and go in the back for a little while and be doing things, and he was sorting all that stuff out.
Did you sell from the warehouse? Did you with the records?
Yeah. I'm still doing that now. I'm still doing that part of the business, the real part of the business. I'm still doing that now.
You probably had a lot of undercover people coming in and buying records and just casing the joint out. Just checking
no, it's an online business, Chris. It's online. It's all ordered online, and you send them off in. No one actually physically comes into the shop and buys. It's all done online. So, yeah. But that was a close shave. That.
If I can just put something straight, let people know that I do not do mushrooms. Since I've done these videos, it's just Vertex put in "do mushrooms make you talk a lot." And I'm experienced it quite a bit since I did these videos about the psilocybin mushrooms. That now I'm the mushroom man, of course, and I do mushrooms, and it makes you talk a lot, obviously. And I don't know what Vertex are out after there for that, but snidey little.
Simon, I thought you microdosed. You don't microdose?
I used to in the past, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, people do what they got to do, right? It's no biggie.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's just this that. Obviously I talk a lot, it seems, and it's all because of the mushrooms.
You just talk like anybody else.
That's what I thought too, but you're welcome to your own thoughts, Vertex. It's just a bit fucking bizarre and childish, to be honest, to make claims like that.
I can't see it. Do shrooms make you talk a lot?
Well, it's a few times.
Yeah, no, you do. I mean, I've taken mushrooms, but you don't get much sense of what you're kind of saying. You
don't talk a lot when you're on mushrooms.
When you take a lot of them, yeah. I've never microdosed though with magic mushrooms. I've always taken loads of them, just like you do, right? But the good thing about that was years ago, and there was never just me on my own. There was like at least 10, 15 of us that would do it all at the same time. So I was never on my own doing it, and I never got like the horrors or anything like that. All my trips are all really happy and good, and a great laugh, right? I've never had a bad trip. Not on mushrooms, or even when I took acid all those years ago. It wasn't really that bad, It wasn't.
I know you kind of probably having a joke, Vertex, and it's all right. It's not that. It's just that it's been a few times now, and it's like this. All of a sudden, I'm the mushroom man. It's just because I've researched mushrooms. I've researched a lot of other things as well. And if I present them, I'll become that person as well. Like the fireplaces, the fireplaces represent flat Earth. Am I the fireplace man as well?
Symbolism, man. You're definitely the guy to talk to about the symbolism, right?
Yeah, well, I've only scratched the surface. I just thought I'd start with mushrooms to see how it would be accepted, or because there's still a lot that have knee-jerk reactions about such stuff, which I understand.
Simon, you need to get back and doing your live streams. They were really good, mate. Honestly, really, really good.
Yeah, cheers. I will do, and I have plans to do it as well. It's just,
Well, if you want to do, as I said before, if you want to do Saturday morning, just give us a shout, and we'll come to yours instead. It's no big deal with mine, mate.
Ah, cheers. If anything, I thought I'll just pop up after you've done one kind of thing, because I think there's quite a few like myself that, even though if you've done 3 hours, as soon as you've done, I've got fuck all to do the rest of the day. So I might as well do a live stream as well, mate.
Yeah, but that's when I'm busy. So.
Yeah. Going out to see a man about a dog.
Yeah, no. After I shut this down, I've always got things to do. So it's very rarely that I'm back online. I'm normally out doing something, so yeah, that's why I'm only really free in the mornings, 10 to 12, 10 to 1ish.
Yeah. No worries, Vertek. I wasn't angry from your comment, but it's just these quirky comments that still keep coming up, and I think like, why am I the mushroom man? And just because I talk a lot, that it must be because of this, or it must be because of that. It's not. It's just me.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on the Mandela effect?
Oh,
come on, let's go.
Well, from the beginning, from the get-go, when it first came out, it just made me laugh. I think the first one I heard was that her teeth from the James Bond film, that she had metal on her teeth.
Yeah.
That's why she fell in love with that guy, the big guy, the baddie, that he had metal in his teeth, and that's why they fell in love, because they both had these metal teeth.
Well, she had braces.
Metal braces.
Yeah, I saw a list of the Mandela effect once, and I was reading through the list, and then I went back a few weeks later. I'm sure it changed.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, it just all happens to be stuff that you can't prove yourself.
Is the Mandela on the same sort of spiritual level as Flat Earth? Just knowledge and.
It's a disruption. It's for the gullible.
I think it's a distraction. I think it's massive distraction. And people pushing it, especially using the Flat Earth platform to push it. I think you need your head examined. That's just my opinion.
I mean,
between the Mandelas and the MKUltras, which one's which, what happens and where.
Sorry,
Too much information.
Baron, you're just coming in a bit low there.
Don't tell me I need to shout. God.
you're on your phone, Baron.
Are you on your
Yeah,
phone?
so different. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
that's better. That was a bit better.
Yeah, I was just saying that there's all this terminology going around, Mandela, MK, this, that, and the other, some sort of effect or something to look into. But that distracts away from what we're talking about, physical and substance.
You can't show me in reality the Mandela effects. You can show me on a screen of what you mean. You can show me Freddy Krueger's jumper turning to this colour for some reason. You can show me, on a screen. It's all media based, and it's all from media. And I've said it before. We know who controls the media, right? So there's that cause and effect thing going on, the Mandela effect. So it's pretty simple for me. It's
also simply made. They can just go in and digitally take out her braces on her teeth, just for that little clip, and only play that little clip and say, look, and they know that you're not going to dig up the original video to try and check it out. Some may do, but it's so easy to fake, and just because of one guy in CERN, he had this little placard. He was
guys, I'll be back in a sec. Sorry, I'll be back in a sec.
All right. He was sitting there on his chair, and he had these signs up, and one of them just said Mandela.
I think, Simon, people are just desperate to have things to say. Look, this is proof that they're messing with time or space. It's just so much distraction. Everything is a bloody distraction.
I class it as spookism, if you know what that means, in the sense that it's just spooky stuff that, like ghosts and things like that, we can't really prove them. Spookism is a good word for it.
Everything's been designed to take us away from nature, in my opinion.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, the whole UFO thing is to make you believe that there's a whole universe out there.
Exactly. I agree. Totally.
Push the space narrative.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's brilliant what they say. Like, they have films like Lost in Space, and that's what they've done to the human mind. That when we imagine this place called space, when they talk about it, our mind becomes literally lost in space.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist, so your mind's lost.
I mean, it's why we're still wondering about space and not wondering about in it.
Yeah.
I feel that you're just looking up all the time, never looking down.
Yep.
Always looking out and never looking in.
Yeah.
And this is for me where I think the distraction is. It's about always looking out, where you've got, for me, and again, I'm only speaking from my perspective, my point of view is that all the time we're chasing stuff outside, we're not really looking within the actual person, the spirit, the you, the me. And that to me is what the distraction's all about, because we are so much more than what people understand and realize. And that's where I'm.
Well, it fits with the Luciferian doctrine of everything that's possible to be inverted in nature shall be inverted. Inverno, and that's what they do. They turn everything from one end of the stick completely to the other end of the stick, so far away that you'd think that can't be true. That's literally the complete opposite of what we've been taught. It's like, yeah, that's how they do it. The bigger the lie, the more chance that we're going to fall for it. And the further away that lie is, the further you're going to fall away from the truth.
Yep, truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah. Because
Sure
it's the last
is.
thing we've ever seen. And when we don't see things, like you go into the darkness, you get scared of the darkness because there's no information coming in. And that's what we're scared of, lack of information, as human beings at least. Animal kingdom doesn't have a problem with it. But we don't like lack of information. We don't like being in dark rooms. You start banging on the door saying, open the fucking door, I can't see in here.
But haven't you noticed, the longer you're in a dark space, the clearer it becomes?
I think your eyes start looking inwards, like you said, in a sense. You start visualing things that come from your pineal gland and not from your eyes. So you're literally looking from the inside.
I think that's what DMT does to you as well. It
Yeah, you have to
takes
close
you
your eyes.
away from just looking at stuff, where you actually become part of everything. You start seeing it, but without your eyes. It's hard to explain, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to be in darkness to be able to see, which is strange. You have to close your eyes. You have to put yourself in darkness to be able to see.
Well, you just take simple things like sound waves. Without the emptiness between the wave, you don't have a wave. So you have to have the emptiness as well as where the wave is. It's the balance, as it were, I guess.
Exactly, Vertex. Listen to your heart and not your mind. They say that the heart has actual nerve cells and the same things as the brain has. It's got neurons in there or something. I can't remember what it was, but they found certain elements of the heart is also found in the brain. And that adds towards, like Vertex says, listen to your heart and not your mind.
There's the connection between your heart and brain, isn't there?
Yes.
When I had brain damage, it was like a massive separation. So it's like my heart and brain couldn't connect in a sense and stuff. So like amnesia and all these kind of things and stuff like so. It's like the information that was stored, like, you know, like say somebody were offensive and I couldn't compute what I wanted to say back to them. I obviously took in what it were and I had a response, but I couldn't compute it, you know what I mean? So it's like it came from the heart. Everything comes from the heart. Your brain only processes it. You know what I mean? That's like it's a computer basically, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's not just blood it's pumping then, obviously. It's also pumping information in a sense. But it's not pumping.
And you've got your pineal gland as well. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of, is it separate from your brain? You know what I mean? It's more like an eye in a sense and stuff like. I was reading about that kind of subject last night. I think it was yesterday. This bloke we're talking about. You've got cones and rods, and the cones see the light, the rods see the shapes. So if you learn to see with the cones and not the rods, because if you see the rods are all the physical things and shapes and stuff like that, and that blocks what you're seeing in the spiritual sense. So if you want to be able to see spirits and nature spirits and all those kind of things, then you need to learn how to use your rods kind of properly. So like being able to see in dark, like, and all those kind of things would be kind of connected to that in a sense and stuff like. But it's like, how do you learn how to focus onto those rods. I suppose like these exercises, I've got like meditations which I've kind of talked to people about and stuff like. One of them's like sitting in a dark room and trying to visualize shapes. It's like you can close your eyes and visualize shapes, but in a dark room you can do it with your eyes open because you haven't got, everything's black anyway. So you try to visualize the shapes in a 3D sense, like it's in front of you rather than in a space in your mind. So you're trying to create something in a sense, in a physical aspect or whatever, but. So you do it like a sphere, a cube. I don't know. You practice shapes, kind of thing, like, and then you move on to like shells and stuff, kind of thing, different seashell shapes and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, love. This is going to sound weird, so it's just
What from Chris? No, come on, spit it out.
It should exercise the color part of your receptors in your pineal gland.
Yeah.
So to see the color, that would probably train that aspect of it.
Yeah, we've got a dark room at work where we can test the LEDs at low power, and so there's no interference into the light coming out of the LED. And I was in there one day, and I just thought, hey, I wonder what it'd be like. And so I switched off the light, and I just stood there for about 5 minutes, thinking about where everything was. I thought the table's there, the rack's here, and I just as an exercise. I mean, not that I'm not busy, right? But I just thought this is how a blind person would do. So they're sort of feeling away and they're visualizing it in front of them and know where the limitations were. And I used that. I switched off because you can switch off the light other end. There's a bench in the way, so it saves you having to walk all the way back again in the dark. So I switched the light off and I navigated my way out, thinking, and I pictured in my mind how the room looked. And I just stood by the door. I got to the door and I just stood there for a little while. And I turned around and I tried to visualize it back the other way. And then I attempted to go back, and I went back, and then I came back again to the door. And then I just thought, oh, well, I better crack on anyway. And I don't know what I was trying to prove, but I come out. And I thought the room looked a bit different, if I may say. I couldn't quite, and I just, when you said that, I thought, oh, yeah.
That's not kicking stuff around, was it? In the dark.
I thought maybe it's just because I've been in the dark now, my eyes are more sensitive to the light, but there might be something in that.
Now that you brought up with blind people, I had something I talked about. It's a bit difficult to explain, that people that are born blind, there's people that's born literally with no eyes. They just have skin over. We don't see them that often. They have, of course, glasses on if they're outside. But for a person that has seen for a while, let's say you've only seen for 5 years and then you become blind, you can still image things in your mind that you'd seen whilst you could see. But people that's never seen in their life, they don't even see darkness. We pretend to be blind by closing our eyes or putting things over our eyes so we see completely blackness.
Yeah.
Blind people who have no eyes don't even see blackness.
So ask a blind person what the shape of the world is, and what would they say?
Well, yeah, then they can only go off feeling, and if they never feel anything pushing their body forward, like you're walking over a curve, then they would say it's flat. They could only say it's flat.
Yeah, but what would
downhills?
Yeah, they would typically we think we know what they would say. They would say it's a ball, but how would they know it's a ball just from their perspective? Because
we're blind in that sense. We're exactly blind in the same way they are.
Exactly, my friend.
The question I would ask:
we cannot see that perspective. We cannot see it. We only have it through the TV, which is a false eye.
The question I would ask a blind person is: do you feel any motion when you're standing still? Because if we are spinning, which I don't think we are, there is no way you could escape the fact that you would feel the movement. You would feel, well, we wouldn't. We'd just spin off, wouldn't we? That's the truth. If we were spinning, nothing would be stuck to it because it'd all just fly off.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Chris.
In all respect, I mean, that is the point I was trying to make there with the blind person is that they really don't know what they're living on, so they have to be told what it is and where it. And as one said, yeah, we're all in that same boat, really. But in terms of feeling the spinning, their balance is usually really, really good, isn't it? The blind people, they hone their senses, you know, not just taste, smell, but the hearing becomes quite acute as well.
Yeah, there are other senses heightened, yeah.
But if you're sat on a long haul flight and you're in darkness on a plane, and you know you're traveling at, say, in excess of 500 miles an hour, you don't really. If it was an ultra smooth flight, you wouldn't know that you're moving either.
No, in a sense, no, you're right.
Okay, so I never use that about the spinning Earth because, you know, it is relative, and I'm not.
What would you feel if you walked up and down the plane?
No, it's not relative because
No, it's not relative. You're right, yeah.
the Earth's spin is constantly changing. It speeds up and slows down like 2,000 mile an hour every 12 hours. So it's like that's 4,000 mile an hour difference per day. So if you're spinning with the ball, like on the night side of the Earth, facing away from the sun, as if Earth's traveling that direction. If it's like 66,000 mile an hour that the Earth's traveling, and you're traveling an extra 1,000 mile an hour, you're 67,000 mile an hour traveling through space.
2 or 3
On the
different
side,
things.
Well, it has to accelerate, doesn't it? It has to accelerate. Once it goes back behind the sun, it has to accelerate to get back in front of the sun. So it has
and
to
decelerate all the time.
Yeah.
And then you've got the spin. So it's like the spin's spinning, the gravity's pulling you on. But then when you stood at the North Pole or any gradient between the North Pole and the equator, then there'd be a difference over that spin. Yeah. So you'd be heavier. You know what I mean? You probably wouldn't be able to walk if you were on North Pole.
Yeah. And then you have the centrifugal force that at the equator at 1,000 miles an hour, and if you're at the North Pole, maybe you're only going 400 miles an hour, then there should be a weight difference. You should be able to buy some gold at the equator, or no, do it the other way. At the equator, it would be lighter, and then take it to the North Pole and sell it for heavier
because of that.
If you could grab somebody from the North Pole and just drop them onto the equator, you know, within a minute, they would probably feel a difference in weight then, wouldn't they? They'd go, oh, but you know, I truly think that if you, well, I say truly think, I mean, I can imagine if you did that, it wouldn't have any difference on that person because one, when it's spinning, and
I think the other thing with the airplane, as an example, the airplane isn't spinning. The airplane's flying level and flat, so you haven't got the same. You haven't got centrifugal force going on, and you haven't got centrifugal force going on. Whereas in the ball model is what they say is going on. So my point being, you can't compare flying or going on a train. Once you stopped accelerating and you're going at a certain, you're not going to feel anything because you're continually moving at a constant. Whereas on the globe model, it's a different forces are acting. So
it's not constant.
You can't really compare
the
two.
No, fair enough, Brendan. Yeah, and like you're saying, you're actually attached to the Earth at the time, aren't you? So you're attached to a plane, a train, and if that's constant, then
I don't think it's a good example. I agree with you. It's not a good example, anyhow. You know, but going on their model and going on what a train does and what a plane does, it's not a circular motion. It's a constant.
Yeah.
If an airplane were constantly turning and constantly speeding up and slowing down,
you would feel it.
A few degrees. You know what I mean? You'd know. Yeah.
I feel when you're in an airplane, you feel when the airplane's making a different direction.
You feel it.
Even a subtle one, the most subtlest. You know what I mean? When it makes that slight alteration or
it's an air pocket.
A turbulence. Yeah. Big kind of. But
another one in an airport, as you're going down them long corridors, they started putting up these. They're not elevators because you don't get elevators. They're conveyor belts, more or less, down on the floor.
Yeah.
And the old grannies or anybody who can't be asked walking that far, and you stand on that, you stand still, and off you go. You get jetted down the corridor. Now, as that's moving and you're going down with it, if you started walking forward you would feel that, I don't know if you call it kinetic energy or that movement under your feet, because you're wanting to go with it and add on to that speed. And as you're walking, if you turn around, in that turning around, as the earth is moving, or the conveyor belt's moving under your feet, you also once again feel a different and opposite energy to where almost your body wants to fall over, because
That's a good point. Yeah.
it's like a rug being pulled from under your feet. And you can walk back and forward on this and feel each and every turn the difference because of the movement of the ground under your feet. But you stand back on the earth, no matter which way you're going, you never feel that. And in my mind, you should do, even on a large scale and then on a small scale, because moving is moving.
It is.
So they kind of bust it for me. And another one is an example. If you're walking on a field and you have a friend with you, now I'm going to walk on this field and I'm going to walk and try and keep the same speed completely, not change it. And I want my friend to circumnavigate me as I'm walking, meaning as I'm walking on this field, he is to keep his same distance from me, like 3 meters. He has to walk in front of me, then walk behind me, walk in front of me, walk behind me. He's going to have to change speeds to be able to keep up to me. Is he not? As he's walking in front of me, I'm walking towards him. As he's passing in front of me, he's no longer going forward, he's going sideways. And as he comes behind me, the same again. I'm walking in the constant speed. He has to catch up to me. So that's not what we see what the moon's doing. The moon would have to speed up and slow down every time it goes in front of the earth, as the earth is moving forward, supposedly.
Going around the sun.
Going around
Hurtling
the sun.
at incredible speeds.
Yeah,
It's
the same example for
ridiculous
the Earth and the
concepts.
sun.
Once you actually start thinking about it, it just crumbles.
Yeah, exactly.
None of
And
it makes any sense whatsoever.
And the thing is, you can test it. You can do it yourself by someone being on a field, 2 people, one walks in a straight line at one constant speed, and the other one tries to circumnavigate him around him. He's going to have to speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. It'd be hectic. But that's what they claim that's happening out there in space. At different tangents, different vector lines, that the Earth's spinning, the Earth's traveling around the sun, the sun's traveling around the galaxy's traveling around fuck knows what, and fuck knows what is traveling around fuck knows what. Yeah. But we feel none of this stuff.
Yeah, and if you say you can't really see it, they'll just try and say you don't understand orbital mechanics.
Well, you're so small. Because you're so small compared to everything else that is so big that we're explaining to you, you cannot feel it. Well, that's
This has always
coincidental.
been the case, though.
But you people,
Complete ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a defined line between what you can prove and what the so-called they can prove.
Yeah.
So you're given this explanation as to your reality, but the point is that we live in a Goldilocks zone that you will never be able to experience or prove any of it. So you're always going to have to appeal to this authority that's telling you what your truth is, and that's it. And anything that you believe, it's fine, it's great, it's commendable, but it's not reality, because the only one that can prove your reality are powers that be. That's it. So unless people understand this, that's where they are in this system, whatever they believe. If they say, okay, we live on a ball, though, yep, you live on a ball because that's what you've been told, and you can't prove otherwise, and yet you're never going to experience the ball, and you're only going to experience the default, which is no ball. So unless you wake up and think, okay, well, can there be some sort of independent review of this? Are there any sort of organisations that can independently confirm this? No. You can experiment, you can carry on discussing it, and but what we're doing is we're discussing a theory here. It's proven by teachers and by authorities and by books and by peer review. That's it.
People did it thousands of years ago, and they were stupid.
It's proven on the assumption that it's consistent, the speed, like the movement.
Know something more than anybody else knows. Yeah? You put yourself in a position of power when you think you know something that somebody else doesn't know.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, how it all started, right? With the Greeks and the kings or whatever it was, needing to know more and more and more, and having lapped up all the natural resources and having all their, sages and witch doctors and witches by their side. They also wanted to know about what else is out there. And if you can't prove anything, make it up.
Make it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same method they're using now with what's going on with the virus. If you don't believe in it, you will be persecuted.
Yeah.
You don't need to believe
Same
anything.
with
You
the ball.
just
If
need
you
to
don't believe in the ball like everybody else does, you will be persecuted. But you have an option. You're free to choose. Of course, you're free to choose. You're free to choose to do what we say.
Well, you're actually, again, I always think that they give you the truth in the beginning or in a way that you don't see it. And then that's the disclaimer done. Now it's up to you. So they can put all the propaganda they want. But in the beginning, if they say, right, there's something unknown, for example, animal viruses are now jumping to human beings because of the weakened state of humanity, well, shouldn't we all stop eating meat for just a few months or something? Possibly? No. We'll be fine. You'll be fine. Eat more, in fact. Or shouldn't we sort of lessen the strain on people that are going out? No. Order everything you want. Get them out more. More. Economy first.
Yeah.
Health later. You know that they've got it stuffed and tied up with some amazing cure that's going to come later.
It's like Boris, isn't it? He's like giving off these like double messages. Yeah, go out, spend, and go and buy all your Christmas presents, but don't go and visit your family. Just
No,
give
you
it
can
to
have
them.
a party. You're allowed to have a party because they did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Christmas every day for the politicians because they can wrap it up any way they want, anytime.
Yeah. It's a full control
It's
of
a
the
wrap.
mind.
It's a wrap.
Society. I mean, the Catholic Church, they dealt in body. They took your body down into these dungeons and they stretched you and they whipped you. They didn't kill you. They didn't kill you and put you in the grave. They sent you home handicapped. And everybody knew that when you came home, why you got sent down that prison, down in that dungeon. So they taught, not because they wanted to, they taught their children what the Catholic Church wanted you to think. And they were doing that to save their children from being sent down, being persecuted, being racked up and crucified, more or less. And then after that phase was done, then they just worked on the mind. They didn't need to work on the body anymore. They'd already got the mind through fear of being persecuted physically. But now they persecute you mentally.
Wonderful tool, isn't it? Fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all born in fear, and they guide us through our life. They know that we're all born in fear. That's why we all come out crying, and they just guide that fear through our life. That's how I see it.
Well, let's start with the fear with being scared of stupid little things like spiders and mice and things on the TV that's scared of this and that. It all starts with when you're a child.
Are you scared of mice, Baron?
No.
I mean, people do have
I'm only
real
teasing,
phobias.
mate.
People do have real phobias. I mean, I knew a guy, a Portuguese guy, that was, I mean, he was a man's man, and he was he's the strongest bloke I knew, pound for pound, you know, and very powerful guy. But he would just run a mile if he saw a spider. It's funny, but listen, he had a real phobia. He'd nearly be sick, literally, absolutely. Something primeval inside of him just said no. And it might stem from something like in his DNA or something that's come down through the ages or something.
Well, people are scared of birds as well, aren't they? Real phobia of birds.
Especially on a Saturday night, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't suffer from that problem, Chris.
Especially when they're full of ale, yeah. But I think it's small childhood traumatizations that we don't remember, and the parents don't remember it because it's just the kid crying again. You know.
Yeah.
And, my mum fainted when she saw spiders. There's one time my grandmother, she was all right with them. She'd get them with a piece of toilet paper on the wall and pinch it, and then she'd go with it. And she was coming out the kitchen door with it, like face height, holding it as you do, and its legs were sticking out. And my mum was coming in the kitchen door at the same time, and all of a sudden this spider was right up at her face, and she saw them legs were dump. She was down like a ton of bricks. And I remember crying as a kid because I didn't know what happened to mum. I thought she'd dropped down dead.
Blimey.
But she just had a fear of having that spider right up in her face for a split second, and dump, she felt like a ton of bricks.
I can't remember the actual statistics, but it said that while you're asleep, that spiders cross your face a certain amount of times in a year or something.
Yeah, they reckon you eat about 4 spiders a year, but
Yeah.
What?
Just an interesting fact. You know these four-posted.
Stop that.
He's gonna wear a mask.
A plate full of spiders. I do. A bit of salt and pepper.
That's what the government should do. You know, stop eating spiders. Wear a mask in bed. You know?
But now you say it, I have eaten one spider in my life. You know them little money spiders, the teeny little ones. I was looking in my mum's pocket because she was saying, I don't have any money, I got now. And I said, let me look. You know, joking. And I looked in her pocket and I saw this teeny little spider down there. And I blew. Up it came and ate into my lungs and down my fucking throat it went.
Oh, excellent. I've been at the Far East and they sold deep fried spiders on the roadside. So I grabbed a bag and munched on them.
Ah, well, it probably tasted nice, did it, Chris?
Yeah, it tasted like chicken.
What? Yeah.
Everything tastes like chicken. Fried
Yeah.
spiders.
All the hairs on the legs had actually, you know, sort of like disintegrated in the deep little fried oil. They were quite crispy, I've got to say. Really, really crispy.
Full of protein, supposedly.
Absolutely. Yeah, when in Rome.
I'll just leave them alone. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. That's the
You
way
don't
I
fry
like
them then, David?
it. No, that's the way I like it. Just leave them alone. Let him get on with it.
Chocolate ants was another thing I remember as a youngster that was going around, that you could buy chocolate ants.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that was.
I would probably eat
Chocolate cigarettes.
ants if I didn't have a meal when I was starving hungry. I'd probably eat ants, just like what the old the old monkeys do with the old stick when they poke it down the hole and bring up all the things.
Yeah, they get the giant ants in Africa, and what they do is they ping them, and they stick them on the window ledges to bake them in the midday sun. So they
As you do.
protein. Yeah.
Called a fast snack, that is, isn't it? That's
Mate, you've got loads of ants on your windowsill. Yeah, it's fucking dinner, mate. What are you on about?
yeah. I've got my relatives coming round for dinner.
Yeah.
Imagine inviting a bird round and going, "Yeah, I'm cooking you a nice 3-course meal." The main course is a plate of ants.
That's one thing you don't see anymore, is it? You're in shop windows. You don't see wasps in shop windows in the summertime anymore, do you?
No,
They've sold them all.
bees. You know, bees seem to have disappeared a lot. You very rarely see bees now these days.
Yeah.
Especially in this.
Insects. This happened years ago.
Yeah, they are.
Insects in
We
general.
used to get swarms that used to go over town, like end of summer kind of thing. Like it used to be a massive swarm. It used to last like 10-15 minutes or something like that. Like constant, like cloud of insects flying over, all different ones. It used to happen every year. I used to look forward to it, you know what I mean? And then it just suddenly stopped. You know what I mean? You just see it again. Used to get giant dragonflies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what, Barry?
Hardly any butterflies, any moths. Hardly any moths.
Things about Lev's, remember, we went for a walk with yours, Lev.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that big humming noise was a huge wasp's nest or something. And you said, steer clear away from that, but it was like a drone in the middle of the woods. Remember that?
Wow.
Oh,
That was
what was
crazy.
like other flies?
I don't do
loads of
wasps.
other flies.
That's one thing I don't do is wasps and hornets. I run. That is one thing I do run from, are wasps and hornets, because they don't like me for some reason. They they just start attacking me.
There's that Dave again. There he is.
I'm on my feet. I'm literally on my feet down the road.
You know
That's
how,
the wasp.
Dave, you know how wasps, they fly in front of your face, don't they? They hover in front of your face.
Yeah, they do it on purpose. They do it to me all the time.
Do you know why they do that?
No. Is it your breath? The CTO?
Yeah, well, it's the carbon monoxide that's coming out your breath.
Yeah.
The funny thing, at the same time, people tend to go and blow them away, but that's literally the opposite you should be doing. You should hold your breath. Just close your mouth and hold your breath, and the wasp will go away.
No, just run. That's the best.
I'm with David on that.
Bees, I'm fine. Bees, perfect. Spiders, I don't care, but wasps, that is it. That's my limit.
Yeah.
Is wasps.
No, I'm okay with wasps, but I've because we had like a couple of wasps nests here, and you only see them when they're sort of like half days because they're coming out the wrong way. They're coming towards the ring light instead of the sunlight or whatever. So pick them up and put them out, and they get used to it. But hornets, I have come across the nest, and they kind of gather themselves and get themselves ready to come get you, and then by that time you need to run. But they don't like jump up and sort of zoom around. They just sort of like move around really quickly, gathering resources.
It is an interesting fact. If all the spiders disappeared in the world, I think it would take something like, not sure what the actual figure is, if it's 7 years, 7 months, or 7 days, that you wouldn't be able to see your hand in front of your face because of all the flies.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So spiders do a job.
Yeah,
so
they all,
don't get surprised.
everything's here for a reason, right? That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
Everything's got its place. It's the same
Yeah.
with frogs. Excuse me, frogs disappeared. The mosquito larvae would not be eaten as much, and it would be the same effect. Within 1 year, you couldn't see in front of your face because of the mosquito.
Wow.
Years ago, you used to get loads of frog spawn when it comes to April, and when they used to hatch, well, like tiny frogs used to go everywhere, and it's like you couldn't even walk across the road without squashing them by accident and stuff. And you don't get that anymore either. You know what I mean? There's an abundance of like all this nature stuff, which it's just like that. Maybe chemtrails, but
Remember semolina pudding that you used to get in school?
Yeah.
We used to call that frog spawn.
That's right. But there was another interesting thing I read a while back about the vultures in Africa. They're seen as a pest, but the vultures probably have one of the most
Cheers, Red.
potent stomach acids. So when the cattle die, if they're migrating, they drown in the rivers and stuff. All the vultures used to go down and eat, and rip these bodies to pieces. But because the farmers look at the vultures being a pest, they would shoot the vultures, and now the vulture numbers have dropped, and so there's an abundance of carcasses around, spreading disease. And the stray dogs and the hyenas are eating this stuff, but they can't even manage everything, and so they're carrying around now all the disease, and it's crossing over to humans in Africa, simply because they've destroyed the eco balance with the number of vultures that were there to be able to consume all these dead carcasses. Because vultures can eat rotten flesh. Their stomach acid is so strong that they just wouldn't give them any disease. They're sort of quite robust. And when you think about it, they're designed that way to maintain an eco balance in nature.
I see it almost like an operating system where you'd ring to the operator in the old days, and she'd have these cables that she'd put in from, let me just connect you. And I see it like that everything has got a connection to something else. And without it, there's going to be a break in the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Where information is not going to get passed through, and that's got a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Well, that's a problem with a lot of the youth these days. They're disconnected from nature. They're so disconnected from the cycles of nature that they believe anything. And they're more in touch with the fake system that's put in front of them than observing the actual cycles of real nature, right? And being in touch and being in symbionts with nature, the cycle of it. And that has been taken away from all the youth. It's all video games, stay indoors. Like when I was young, it was outside, constantly. I was never ever indoors, ever. And they've changed that all around.
Inverted it.
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my 8-year-old granddaughter went out to pick them up or something, and she looked at me and she was saying, we were just waiting for them to come out. We just stood there talking, and she said to me, "Yeah, we shouldn't really go in your car." I said, "Why is that? Do you want to take the bus?" She went, "No." She said, "Your car is no good for the environment. It drinks too much petrol."
Oh, God.
And I was just going, "What?" She said, "Yeah, you should get an electric car." That's what she was saying to me. And I said, "Oh," I said to her, I was humour, I said, "Okay, who told you that?" She said, "Well, they told us in school about how bad cars are." And I went, "Okay." So I said, "Did they say that electric cars were good?" She went, "Yes." I went, "Okay." I said, "Perhaps you want to go back to your teacher and ask how they make the batteries and how long the battery will last and what damage it will have to the environment once the battery
we're not allowed to ask questions." But is that not the...
But she looked at me, she went, "That's interesting." And I thought I planted the seed there.
Did she go back and ask the teacher, Chris?
Do you know, you know, I didn't follow up on it, to be honest. But,
Is that not a little the same scenario as being sent down into the Catholic Church's dungeons and you're coming out?
absolutely,
saying-
my friend.
Yeah, Dick.
Yeah.
Dick, that's Danish, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
the same
guys,
same.
last 15 minutes, yeah, because I want to play some videos for the last hour.
Hey, how dare
I'm
you?
sorry.
We've not heard a lot from Blood. Blood, you still there, buddy?
I'm still here, mate. I'm working, listening.
Okay, fella.
He's doing what David normally does.
Yeah, I'm actually meant to be working now, so
Saturday, mate, have a day off. I see Black's in the house. Hello, Blackness.
yeah, that's what I'm going to do at 12. I'm going to play some videos and start a bit of work. So
Black says, fuck nature, he thinks it's gay.
Blark thinks everything's gay. Blark thinks everything's gay.
Well, if nature, you know, if it wasn't for nature, we wouldn't be here.
Oh,
I'll argue with
Tamo.
that, can you?
Tamo's in the house. Who's Tamo going to hate today?
Leave Tarmo alone. He's misunderstood. Right?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, no, he's all right. I've actually spoken to Tarmo actually on a live, and he comes across different in the chat. I don't think he. I mean, we had a laugh when we went on there. Me, I think Anita, Holman, and Tarmo was on there once. But he seemed okay. You know.
It's different when you interact with somebody, isn't it? From the metaphrasing of, you know, you can't gauge the sort of the contact sometimes. So yeah.
That's why I hate talking through text and stuff like that, because you always get, you know, misunderstood or something's taken out of context or something. You know, it's just.
Done it just.
I can't stand it. That's why I'm much, you know, I prefer talking face to face, or you can hear my voice.
Yeah. Smiley face helps when you put down something abusive.
Oh yeah, I've been using that tactic, Chris, for years.
Yeah.
Fuck off, you cunt. Smiley face.
Yeah. Cane someone with a smiley face. That's it. That's the way to do it.
Or just stick the finger. You know, that'll be good. That works.
All right, guys, I'm going to leave you all and let you guys carry on. Lovely to speak with you all, and
fantastic, Brendan. I appreciate you coming in, dude. Thank you very much.
Yeah, take care, Brendan.
See you later.
Brendan was saying yesterday, absolutely, we'll get together and we'll throw some tunes together. We'll have a sing along.
Yes, I think that would be a.
Could you
really
do that in a
good
live?
idea.
Could you two do that in a live?
Problem is, David, the
lag or-
quality, the sound quality is just shit. It really doesn't work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, there's latency and everything.
It's.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that because the missus went out early today and I dusted off my bass and I was just slapping a few notes there this morning before I saw you come on. So yeah.
We've got two guitarists, a bassist. I could make a beat. There you go.
Oh yeah, while I'm on your channel, I might as well just say thanks to everyone for doing the White Christmas. Here he is. White Christmas. Just missing Jax.
Yeah. Where is Jax today? Is Jax in the
she's
chat?
been moving, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She's got no internet at the moment until Monday, I think.
Yeah, she's all moved in now.
She wasn't well as well. I remember her saying that she was sick at the same time. I hope she's.
Yeah, she's all right.
Amanda, I do as well. I've been doing it for years. Passive aggressive. It works every time though. Just put a big smiley face. It's just brilliant. Right.
Good stuff.
Right,
All right,
yeah,
folks,
I
I'm gonna
appreciate
drop out
everyone
as well.
turning up today. That's guys, Simon, Chris, Lev, Brendan, Blood, and Baron. Really do
Yeah.
appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Excuse me. Yeah, great catching up, guys. Thanks ever so much, Dave.
Yeah. Cheers, chaps. Nice one.
Have a
Very
good one.
enjoyable.
Nice one, everyone. Take care.
Right, where are we here? Right, that's that. I'll keep the back chat open. And Yeah, we go from there. Yeah, we start. I might as well start these now. All right, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Nice
Cheers,
one.
Liv.
Mate,
Nice one.
I'll catch you
John.
on a bit.
So, bud.
Cheers, John.
No
Take care,
worries.
guys. Take care.
Nice.
Sky 3, we got, oh, okay, got a few in there. We can go from there.
I just want to talk a little bit about our magic wall a little bit. And how you can even have perspective on the wall. What I mean by
I can't hear
perspective
M.
is perfectly
M, we can't hear you.
lines of convergence to a vanishing point at any distance. I mean, we have a lot of visuals.
Hi everyone, we have a few more garage tests to show you. In this first test, we will use the same objects we used in part 1 of the series. In that video, we let air mix near the surface by opening the garage door to a few feet above the surface. This produced an increasing temperature
idea. Cup of tea
gradient
time for
with
me.
the coolest layer of air near the surface and an increase in temperature from there. This time we used a sheet of plywood and a buddy heater to keep the air layer near the surface warm while we opened the garage all the way and allowed air to mix near the ceiling. Here is a look at the temperature data for this observation. This time there was a decreasing temperature gradient with the warmest layer of air near the surface and a decrease in temperature from there. Here are the objects from the viewer's perspective at the start of the test. And here is a time lapse of events. As we open the garage door, the objects appear to sink into the horizon. And closing the garage door allows the air in the room to even out and the light from the objects arrives in full. For this next test, we opened only the very bottom of the garage door while hot air was coming through the air vent near the ceiling. The temperature inside the garage was about 65 degrees Fahrenheit at the start of the observation, and the outdoor temperature was 34 degrees. Here is another time lapse of the observation.
Go to the seashore. Go to a seashore and figure out why you can't, if you live on the East Coast, figure out why you can't see Spain from the East Coast of North America. Is the Earth flat or round? Is the Earth flat or round? Flat or round? Flat or round?
And right at the start of our next test, a ladybug showed up and decided to steal the show. Here I raise and lower the yellow cap. Another look in slow-mo. This last observation occurred right after the previous one. This time we used a few small rocks and earrings to represent some distant buildings and hills. Here we open the garage door. The objects appear to sink into the horizon.
Right, people in the chat, spell Gordon Ramsay for me. Just spell it, just write it how you would think it's spelt and the way you think it is. Gordon Ramsay. There's a point to it.
Horizon.
Figure out why you can't, if you live on the East Coast, figure out why you can't see Spain from the East Coast of North America. Is the Earth flat or round? Is the Earth flat or round? Flat or round? Flat or round? Flat or round?
Yes, he has. Retard Stavely says Ramsey is not the way it's spelled. It's Ramsay. But I've seen both. Again, I've seen both of those spellings. The Americans seem to spell it with an E. And we kind of say it with an A, right? Yeah, that's the perfect spelling block. But does it really matter? Exactly. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Is that Mandela effect, guys? Is that the Mandela effect? Ramsey being spelt with an E instead of an A. Absolute nonsense. Gordon Ramsay. So Brendan remembers it with an E. But it's irrelevant, right? It doesn't really matter. Reading Braille and sign language has been Mandelaed. It's a Mandela effect. Braille and sign language.
Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. So here we have Mark Drakeford, the First Minister of Wales, aka Puppet Tyrant, one of the numerous puppet tyrants around the world, and like many of the other puppet tyrants, has been laying down draconian laws. Draco. It's interesting that his name is Drakeford, which sounds a bit like Draco. Draco is Latin for dragon, hence draconian laws. Dragon laws. Mark Drakeford, he has a son who is currently serving 8 years in jail. Bit of information there for you. Anyhow, Mark Drakeford is very grumpy. It seems these puppet tyrants serving the dragon don't like it when someone who isn't part of the Fake Stream Media Club approaches them and asks them a question. Here's the clip.
No more than you are. What
I don't think I've seen moon suits either.
Believe me, friend, it's because you and people like you.
I didn't know that, Tom. Dragon also means to see clearly. It's quite interesting.
No, I cannot. Well, stand over there then. Stand over there. Thank you. Yeah, you should. You're a threat.
Yes, a very grumpy response. I mean, here is a puppet tyrant who has recently introduced passports into Wales for concert halls and cinemas, basically up to the same agenda as everywhere else. Radically changing people's social laws, radically changing freedom of movement, and laws radically change.
That's beautiful. Look at that.
Changing people's social laws, radically changing freedom of movement, and he has zero respect for just a general member of the public. As I said, same agenda as everywhere else. They'll be bringing it in for pubs next, and then it'll be lockdowns, okay? Just like the UK are going to do next week with, their Plan C. It was Plan B, Plan A, now we've got Plan C. There'll probably be a Plan D and a Plan E. Because it's all planned
hey, good morning, Cheswick.
in lockstep with every
Ricardo,
other country
welcome.
around the world. We all know what they are up to. And
or should I say afternoon?
Mark Drakeford having to deal with reality. Oh no, someone who isn't part of the Fake Stream Media, a normal bloke who is asking him questions. No, we can't deal with that. Normal questions, and he can't handle it. He can't handle dealing with real people. He can't handle the truth. He can only deal with the Fake Stream Media lackeys who are serving the establishment. So, I mean, we all know what is coming, okay? The UK media are talking about Plan C, which involves passports for pubs, etc.
You can't tell me that these clouds ain't running level with the water. They're parallel to each other.
Etc. We all know it's all scripted, and people, they've got to stand strong against it. Businesses, especially, need to stand together against it. For example, pubs. If you accept these passports in your pub, you're letting yourself down. You're letting your business down. You're letting your fellow man down. And your business, it will eventually fold. And that's their plan. Unless you're someone like Witherspoons, you are not wanted. They want all small, medium businesses to go
still 10 a.m.
They don't want
Cheswick.
people being independent. They want you dependent
I've had mornings
on the
like
state.
that, mate.
So now is the time to stand up. Be brave. Don't follow the cowardly herd. Don't be controlled by your money situation, because that will be eradicated eventually. Don't be controlled by fear. Don't do something you know is wrong. Stand up for what is right. Look into your heart. Trust your gut instincts. You know
Cool. Ricardo's
what's
from
wrong.
Chicago,
Do the
guys.
right thing. Don't get swept up by this current darkness that is spreading across the land. Now, I have a feeling that I'm coming to the end of my time on YouTube. They will get shot of me soon. I've got a feeling about it. If you want to stay in contact and get notified of all my videos, especially the uncensored ones that are not here on YouTube at the moment, come and subscribe to the tribe at hugotalks.com, a place for like-minded souls. And don't forget, there's a community forum as well under the connections tab at hugotalks.com, where you can find people maybe in your local area who are like-minded souls, okay? Thank you for listening, and I'll see you later.
Hugo puts a lot of water in these videos. Do you think he's trying to tell us something? I think Hugo's a flat earther. He's an earther. Just as long as he ain't a moon crater earther. Hey, Amanda? Moon crater earthers. That's just hilarious.
So this amazing trip was very special, very emotional for us, especially for me because it was the first trip without Franco that I'm doing.
You say Franco and Simon here and they're legends for the people, you know, because they've been here working so hard for so long.
For me, it's very sad, to be honest. For me, it was like a big brother, you know, but the show must go on.
Come on.
I think we found some of the best representations of the Ponderland genetics.
It's so epic, that whole river.
It's just continuous fields on the left and right, pretty much for over 100 kilometers.
I think South Africa has so much more to offer than they know, probably. It was an honor and a pleasure to have Oscar, Mr. X, and Dust for the first time in this movie with me. They really helped out. They really stood up. It was, it was epic to do this.
And now we're going to send all the samples to the lab. Why do people think that it has a medicinal value? Does it really have something different? You know, that's going to be really interesting to see.
Flowers, and we're going to drop some new seeds for that run. Okay guys, first things first, I just want to talk just for a quick second about the scammers that hit my channel. They've been hitting a lot of channels lately, a lot of channels that I watch myself. I just want to say, just be super careful. When you have a YouTuber contact you saying that you won something, make sure it's the actual YouTuber that's contacting you. Most YouTubers, if they're doing a giveaway, they're not going to ask you for money for one. Chances are they're probably not going to use WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp for my channel at all. So, and if you make a comment on a video and the channel owner replies to you, check the name, check the logo, make sure that's right, check the name. If it's the actual channel owner, that name will be circled. It'll be circled with either gray or black with their name inside of it to show you that that's actually the channel.
Yeah, I've heard of Lawful Rebellion.
Back to you. So that's,
yeah, I used to look at some of them debt channels
to,
myself.
Make sure that you know who's communicating with you.
Some interesting
so now
content
that's
there.
Out of the way, let's check out and see what we're going to do today. So last week we put up the FC8000. I have it on low here over the rotating. I can't call it the Sea of Green anymore because there's no green there. Now, what I've done is I've left most of the root balls in here, which I touched on just a little bit there last week. I've also taken out some of the soil to use for other pots that I have going in my other tents. So what we're going to do today is we're going to fill this up. We're going to add a little bit more nutrient, get it recharged, get it ready to go. And then we're going to drop the beans to go in here. Now, I did have some wedding cake autos that I had germinated. They just didn't seem to be doing well. So I decided I'm not going to put any more time into those. I'm going to start out fresh. I started them a bit early anyway. We're going to start some new seeds. We're going to start off fresh here and go from there. So what I'm going to do first off today, guys, is I'm going to put you up on the tripod and we're going to get this bed ready. Okay, guys, so first off, what I'm going to do is I've already kind of evened this out a little bit. like I said, I've taken out some of this and put it into other pots to use. So now I have to refill it. Now, before I put any more grow medium in there, I'm going to add some extra Gaia Green right now. Now, the reason I'm doing this right off is because when I germinate my seeds, I want to plant the germinated seeds directly into the pot instead of into solo cups this time. So I don't want the very top layer to be super hot with nutrients. So there's only an inch or two of soil that's needed in here. So I'm going to put the Gaia Green nutrients into the pot first. So when I add the ProMix HP at the top, it's just going to be straight ProMix HP. So that way when the germinated seeds are planted, they'll be planted directly into the ProMix HP, and there'll be a lot less chance for those little tiny roots to get burnt. So I figured out this pot holds roughly around 65 to 70 gallons of grow media. That's not counting the couple inches of expanded clay balls at the bottom for drainage. And I know that it already still has some nutrients in it from the last run. I don't think I need to overdo it here. So I'm thinking I'm going to be adding about roughly between 10 and 15 gallons of ProMix HP into this on top. So I'm just kind of guesstimating on how much of the Gaia Green that we need to use. First off, the Gaia Green 444 all-purpose fertilizer. We're going to put that in there first. Now, I don't think I need much of this either because being autos, they're going to flip when they're ready, so they'll only be in veg for probably a month or so. And I'm pretty sure I overdid the nitrogen last time, so I want to be somewhat careful on this. So I'm going to only add about half a cup of the 444, and we're just going to spread that around. I don't have a mask, but I'm being pretty careful here as not to get that to dust up and get in my face too much. That's all the 444 I'm going to put in there. And now we have the Gaia Green Power Bloom 284. And I'm only going to add probably about a cup of this as well, because I can always top dress later if needed. So we got about a cup of the Power Bloom Gaia Green. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to now I'm doing it quite slowly because, like I said, I don't want that dust everywhere up in my face. So there we have it. So that's it. Pretty easy. I'm just going to take my tool here and just work it in. Now I don't have to work it all the way to the bottom because as I water, it's going to push it down anyway. So I'm just going to kind of put it into this middle layer, and we'll call it good. Now this still has, like I said, lots of roots in here. Now those roots, they'll break down over time and they'll just become nutrients for the new plants. So I've done it once before. I've done that in a 5-gallon pot where I cut the plant out, cut the stalk right off at the base when harvesting, and then I just went and I planted a seed directly beside that stalk. Didn't do anything different to it, and it grew up fine. You wouldn't have known that there was a complete massive root ball already in there when I planted that other seed. So I think this should work out fine. Okay guys, so now that we have the Gaia Green nutrients in there, I'm going to top it up with some ProMix HP with mycorrhiza. think I'll just probably use the rest of this bag in there. And I'm also going to add some Harvest Hero Enhanced Perlite Mix. I just like to add a little bit to every grow that I do now for the silica that is embedded right into the perlite. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of that, and we're going to make sure everything's broken up here. Now this will be the top layer that we plant the seeds directly into as well. There we go. Okay, and finally one last thing. I have a couple gallons of water here. Now this is just plain water with a little bit of molasses in it. I've been watering this with just a little bit of molasses since I've harvested. Just enough to keep it damp, and the little bit of molasses just to keep the microbes active and alive. And water that up. Now I don't use molasses when plants are growing. I don't feel that they need it. The plants will create sugars on their own to feed the microbes, which is why it's called a symbiotic relationship. So I don't think they need molasses. But where I have no plants growing right now to create the sugars to feed the microbes, that's the only reason I'm adding molasses at this point. Okay, so we have that 2 gallons of water in there. I'm going to add another 4 gallons of straight plain water. And before I do that, I'm going to add for some IPM, I'm going to add some pop poppers, which are beneficial nematodes. Now, I got this just online, and it comes with, this is 40 pouches of 1 million each. So this has 4 pouches in it, each with 1 million nematodes. Now what they do is they get down into the soil, and if you do happen to have some fungus gnats or thrips or anything that are introduced into your room, and they go down into the soil, lay their eggs, these nematodes will destroy the eggs in larva stage, I believe. So basically just take a pouch. They say 1 pouch per 5 gallons. I've already added about 5 of these pouches to it already over the last couple of weeks, but I just to be on the safe side, I'm going to add a few more. Now with these here, you just put the packs right on the soil, and then you water over top of the packs. You keep them damp for about 3 days, and that releases the nematodes down into the actual grow media. So I'm going to go get a couple gallons of more just plain water, and I'm just going to water that in. Okay, so we're just going to add, this is just plain water now, and I'm just going to kind of water over top of those pouches, get them nice and moist. And this will also help push that molasses down into the lower levels where the microbes still are. There we go. So that's it. The bed is completely ready. Okay guys, so we have 2 more things to do today. We got to drop some beans, but before that, I'll be sending this hat off to one lucky winner. So we had the Sea of Green Blackberry Kush that we harvested, and I asked you guys to take a guess on how much you think I would get out of that harvest of smokable cannabis dry. So here we have it. This is what we got. Now I waited almost a week ago when it was dry and I bucked it up and I filmed it, but the camera didn't pick up the scale number anyway. So I'm just basically going to tell you what it was. But let's take a look here what we got out of that. Now I didn't completely trim it all up, but all these leaves are fully covered in trichomes. So when I do a final trim, I'll be saving those little sugar leaves. But that is all completely smokable. There's some good sized buds in there. You can see the foxtails here, but I don't know how close we can get there. But super smelly, super frosty. In another 3 weeks or so, it'll be cured up and ready to go. So we have this bag here, and this bag here. Now it's not near as dense as I was hoping it would be, but it's not bad. I mean, it's dense enough, but they're not like real solid. So we didn't quite get the weight I was hoping for. What I was hoping for was 2 pounds. Now what we actually got out of it was 799 grams. That works out to be 28.5 ounces. So not quite the 2 pounds we were looking for, but still, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. Now this was grown under the FCE 4800. It was my first grow with that light, so I didn't quite get the 2 grams per watt. But also, when you think of it, there was a lot of wasted light too around the corners. Being one round pot in the center, there was nothing in the corners at all. So I think it worked out roughly. If you take that into consideration, it's almost right around 2 grams per watt. So not bad at all. I was pretty impressed with the whole grow, how easy it was, and almost 2 pounds, not bad at all. I get a lot of people saying, well, that's a lot of money for a light, and I don't even know how much the FCE 4800 cost. But what I tell them, and I wish someone would have told me this at the beginning too, because in the beginning I was buying these cheap ass 2000 watt LEDs for $75 on Amazon or something like that, which I mean, they were only pulling like 40 watts from the wall, and they were just horrible lights. So I ended up upgrading like 2 or 3 times before I started really looking into the whole power thing and about what you really should be looking for into a light. Now when you think of the extra money that you're paying for a decent quality light like a Mars Hydro, you take this 28 ounces plus. I'm not sure what you guys would pay for an ounce if you were buying it around here in Nova Scotia, Canada. I think the liquor stores are the only ones that sell it, and I think it runs roughly for like low quality stuff is like $5 a gram, but then you can go up $10 a gram. I think there's even up to like $15 a gram for some premium dry flower. But even if we take that lowest one, $5 a gram, and we have $7.99, we'll call it 800 grams at $5 a piece. There's 4 grand's worth of cannabis there. So I'm not sure how much the 4800 cost, but I'm pretty sure I could buy a few of them with the amount that this harvest gave me. So that's how I try to explain it to people. You might pay a little bit up front, but within your first harvest, you're paying that light off plus lots extras. So definitely worth it to me. So that being said, who won this beautiful hat that was donated to me by a viewer? Well, I couldn't find anybody that actually guessed 799 grams. So the closest one I found was Royce Campbell, whose comment was 798 grams, so 1 gram off. So Royce, you are the winner of one of my hats. So what I'm going to do, my hands are dirty, so I'm not going to touch that anymore. So what I'm going to do, Royce, is I will reply to your comment on the video with my email. You'll have 1 week to email me, and then we'll get everything situated at that point. Now remember, guys, I'm always going to announce the winners on a video, and if I reply to your comment, there's going to be a black or gray circle around my name, and that's it. Anybody else is not me, and I will never ask you for money or anything like that. So anyway, just another little heads up there. Okay, guys, so we got that out of the way. Almost 2 pounds, not bad. So what we're gonna do now, finally, is I have some seeds here I've been wanting to try. Now these are a cross of Alien versus Triangle crossed with Three Bears OG. Now both of those strains are from Mephisto Genetics.
What the hell was that name?
I had grown them
I've got to
first
rewind it.
years
Sorry.
back.
I've got to. What the hell was that name?
So,
Aliens.
anyway,
What?
just another little bed. So what we're gonna do now, finally,
Aliens
is
OG.
I have some seeds here I've been wanting to try. Now these are a cross of Alien versus Triangle crossed with Three Bears OG. Of Alien versus Triangle crossed with Three Bears OG. Now both of those strains are from Mephisto Genetics. I had grown them first a few years back, and at one point I had one of the Three Bears OG had hermied on me, and it was in the same tent as an Alien versus Triangle. Both were great strains. So instead of throwing the seeds out, I just kind of packed them away. They're Hermy seeds, so they do have a bit of a higher chance of herming themselves. But I want to try them, and I have lots here, and I want to plant lots of seeds in that big rotating pot. So I thought this would be a good time to try these out, and plus I have lots of these seeds, so I can get as many of the same strain in there as I want. So that's what we're going to be growing: Alien versus Triangle crossed with Three Bears OG. So we're gonna use the paper towel method here. Okay, so I just have this little container, like a little Tupperware type of container, and a piece of paper towel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet this paper towel down. Easy peasy. Okay, now we want it wet, but we don't want it sitting in a puddle of water either. So you want just the right amount of water. I'll add more once I close it up on itself. So what I'm going to do here, how many plants do I want in that? What do you think, guys? Well, these are autos, so I'm not going to be able to flip them after 12 days like I did the last ones. They're going to go probably a week. So instead of 26, 27 plants that we had in the beginning of those clones, I think maybe we'll go with maybe half, maybe like a dozen or something. I don't know. Oops. What do we got there? That one doesn't look viable. You can see that seed there. If you can see it, it's white. And if I squish that, see how that just pops out? There's nothing inside of it. It's just dried out. Not viable. Now these ones all look pretty good. So probably way more than I need here, but that's alright. I got lots. And they didn't cost me anything. So just going to spread those around here. Okay, how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21, something like that. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we won't be using all those, but hard to say if all these will germinate anyway. So we'll keep them all in there. Now you don't need to use a spray bottle for this. You can just put it under the tap, put some water in there. So we got enough there. Now usually what I would do if I was putting it in a bag, I would put the seeds in the paper towel, wet it, put it into the bag, and then turn the bag upside down and let any excess water drip out. That's about what you need. You don't want any excess water. So that's it. So instead of using the bag today, I'm just going to use, these are sealed containers. So I'm going to put the top of that on. Now we also don't want light getting in there, so I have another container here. I'm just going to stick that on top of it, and that'll keep the light away from it. Now I'm going to find a nice warm spot for this. I don't have a heating mat. Now normally what I do is I would take this and put it on my internet box. The internet box gives off a little bit of heat. It's constant, it's always warm, and it seems to be a pretty good temperature for that. So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to take this and I'm going to go set it on my internet. What do they call it? Rotor, maybe. Okay, guys. So there we go. We got our seeds down. They'll pop in probably a couple of days, 2 to 3 days usually. Sometimes even after 1 day, they're ready to go. So I'll keep an eye on that. And what I'm going to do when they germinate, instead of putting them in solo cups like I usually do, I'm going to put them directly into the big pot. That's why I left that layer of soil without much for nutrients in it, so that it wouldn't be too hot for these little germinated seeds. So we got everything ready, pots ready, seeds are down, and we're off to the races. I'm pretty excited to be growing autos again. It's been a while. I think all summer I grew photos, so I'm kind of glad to be back to the autos. That's where I started off growing, is with autos. Yeah, I really enjoy them. Okay, guys, that's it for this one. Come back next week. We'll be planting these seeds for sure, and getting everything going, getting everything ready, getting the engine running, and we'll see how it goes from there. Hopefully it was as easy as the Sea of Green was in that big pot. Okay, guys, Royce, I'll be talking to you, and we'll get that hat shipped out to you. And thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy growing.
Oh, some more vehicles round there. We'll go and have a look round there in a minute. But you got some more gritting wagons there. Hey, up there. How you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm just videoing that.
Don't like being on video.
You what, sorry?
Don't like being on video.
Well, I weren't videoing you till you shouted me. So that's all. I was just videoing your gritters and things like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I know, boring, isn't it? They'll be getting a bit of hammer in the near future of it next couple of months, won't they?
They will, yeah. Definitely. Winter seems to have come early.
Yeah. It was bloody cold other morning, scraping ice off my car at 5 o'clock in the morning. Is that a road salt in there then?
Yes.
Come down with a bucket and get a couple of bucket loads, can I? I take it the laughter means no.
You what?
I take it you're laughing at me means no.
We don't normally give it out. The next door, the council, all this salt is for the main road.
Oh, there?
The council's next door, yeah, they're not ours, and they'll fill all the bins up.
All right.
So I'll grab one out of the bin. I bet there's a bin near you.
Yeah, I usually buy a couple of bags in the winter because I live on a hill, and I bloody need it. But it's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you live on a hill, it's more than likely a yellow bin somewhere.
Yeah, right.
They had loads delivered. Not
Oh, I live in Workshop, mate.
Oh, right, okay.
Bassett Law, Bath as good as a chocolate fireguard.
Oh, okay.
We don't get gritting wagons where I live.
Oh, don't you?
No. No, I live on an estate and I live on a dead end. You know when we had that bad snow, really bad snow about 10 or 11 years ago?
Yeah.
My road was snowed over from the day it snowed for a month. Because there were trees growing over, never got sunshine on it, and it was just one sheet of ice.
Yeah, Audit in Britain give me a strike, John. I actually emailed him as well. I said, look, I've been watching your show for ages, I'm subscribed. We only get a small amount of viewers, it's no big deal really. And I started off the message with, "Hey yo!" And he still give me a strike. What an arsehole.
For a month. Your phone council up and
That's why I ain't played him, John, for a while.
got, absolute waste of bloody time, mate. Right, anyway,
No worries, fella.
I'm going to clear off. See what else I can do.
All right, fella.
All right, catch you later. Right, I think we've got some kind of food plant here. Judging by the smell, it smells like there's something cooking. Definitely. And for a change, it doesn't smell bad. It smells quite good, actually. What they actually make here, I don't know. Yeah, it's a fairly big place. I think it's that extractor fan out there that's making the smells that smell good. Yeah, I'd like to know what they make, but they've got all automatic gates and everything, look. They must be making some kind of secret food with all the security that's going off here. There you go, it's Moy Park, Newark. We've got some major fences and major gates here. And I don't know if these are used motorhomes or anything. Doesn't look like it, look like the new ones. But they've got a hell of a lot. Hell of a lot. Now then.
Can I ask you what you're filming?
Why?
No, I'm just asking.
Where are you from?
From the building over there.
Which one's that?
The one you were filming.
I film loads.
No, I'm just asking what your business is.
I do videos, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What, buildings?
Industry mostly.
All
Anything
right.
interesting.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No,
200 odd videos.
Nothing to hide, but just like to know what
Yeah, 200 odd videos.
your business is.
Yeah, I did the, what do you make? Are you at the Moy Park?
That's correct.
What do you make there? It smells nice.
Well, it's a chicken hatchery. It's a hatchery.
Oh, you hatch chickens?
Yes.
Why does it smell so nice if you hatch chickens?
They're fluffy little chicks.
Oh, right. What's the chances of a tour?
No. Well, nothing to hide, but it's a biosecure area and whatever. So
I wondered why there were all big security gates on them and everything.
Well, to be honest with you, you can see it's bits and bobs here. No, the reason why we'll have that there is biosecure. At the end of the day, it's all about sort of pathogenic bits and bobs, and we can sort of bring things in. Bird flu's a good example of that at the moment. Right,
okay. No, I just wondered if it was, now you've told me what it is, I wondered if it was like the animal rights people and all that kind of stuff.
No. Well, that's what I was just wondering about yourself, whether you had anything to do with that.
You what, sorry?
Whether you were affiliated in any way to that.
Me?
Yeah.
You'll give me a chicken and some chips, mate, and watch me.
Anyway, look, I just, it's unusual, and I just wanted to...
Yeah, no, it's fine, I understand.
There's obviously, we've got, a number of employees in there, and they're always a bit sort of concerned about...
Yeah, no, I'm not going to come and nick you.
Like
so if I want a chicken, can I come and get one?
Well, I'm afraid we don't, these are day old, these are tiny little things, so they're grown on farms. They're not ready to eat at that particular point.
No, I mean, I want a couple of chickens actually.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, right. No,
not to eat, to take home and hatch eggs.
No, we don't sort of sell that. It's all sort of retail and whatever, so it'll go that way. So.
All right.
Unfortunately not. I'm afraid we can't.
You don't sell them in ones and twos then?
No, we can't do business with you on that one, basically. No.
Thousands, I take it.
There's a few, yeah.
Yeah.
A few.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's magic. So what do you do there then?
Well, I'm the general manager for agriculture.
For agriculture? Yeah, and you can't get me a visit? Ah, it's a bummer. It'd have been really interesting.
I'm sure it would do. Anyway.
All right, thanks a lot, mate. Right. I'm going to go and continue videoing motorhomes. Can't afford one, like, but... Cheers. Now, I'll be totally honest, at this point, if I'd known what they'd done a little bit earlier, and I could have got my brain in gear a little bit quicker, I would have asked some certain questions like, what do they do with all the male chicks, and how does he feel about killing thousands and thousands of male chicks, just chucking them in well, they're like a shredding machine, and one or two questions like that. But at the time, it didn't occur to me, and I really, really wish it had done. But anyway, I now know what all the super duper heavy gauge automatic door, automatic gates, and all the big security in and out for the employees and everything is all about. So anyway, that's about it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, please share, please subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye everybody.
On peut le dire, un anti-vax. Les gens veulent faire le vaccin, font le vaccin. Je n'ai pas envie de le faire, mais ça m'interdit de pouvoir vivre socialement, normalement. Donc il est clair que je viens manifester aujourd'hui pour dire simplement que je ne suis pas du tout d'accord de ne plus avoir ma liberté de vivre socialement.
Aujourd'hui, on ne défend plus seulement la cause d'un pompier, on défend la cause d'un peuple complet. Et je pense que l'obligation vaccinale nous met à mal.
I see my redhead, mask bed, tear shed, queen bee must squeeze. The stage smells, tells, hells, bells, misspells, knocks me on my knees. It didn't hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuff, shirt like me on a tree. After I count down 3 rounds in hell, I'll be in good company. redhead, masked red, tear shed, queen be my squeeze. The stage smells, tells, hells, bells, misspells, knocks me on my knees. It didn't hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuffed shirt, like me on a tree. After I count down 3 rounds in hell, I'll be in good company. In hell, I'll be in good company. In hell, I'll be in good company.
If I could make a wish, I think I'd ask. Can't think of anything I need. No cigarettes, no sleep, no light, no sound, nothing to eat, no books to read. Making love with you has left me peaceful, warm and tired. What more could I ask? There's nothing left to be desired. Peace came upon me and then peace me weak. So sleep, silent angel, go to sleep. Sometimes all I need is the air that I breathe and to love you. All I need is the air that I breathe, yes, to love you. All I need is the air that I Peace came upon me and it pleased me weak. So sleep, silent angel, go to sleep.
John. No, you've got to have a good cup for winter afterwards. Just check. Can you imagine Poncho in Thailand? Poncho would last 10 seconds in Thailand. Freak out.
All I need is the air that I breathe and to love you.
Command Control Team 6. Yvette. I don't know what this one is. It's in here. It's a house track, but I don't know. Wow, this is 1991. This is ahead of its time for sure. Hey, you're welcome, Simon. Appreciate you coming in there, dude. There goes to everyone. Brendan, Ned, Darren, Blood, Chris. Yeah, cheers, guys. Appreciate it. Massive shout out to the chatters, as usual. Guys, keep the chat going and keep all the trolls out, and I do appreciate that. Cheers, Brent. Nice one, mate. Vertex, big shout out to Vertex. Big up Jim Eldridge in the house. Amanda, John Watson, Chillstar, Red, Shlo. We've got Jim in the house, Kyle. On a plane. Oh, we had Ricardo, didn't we? From Chicago. Big shout out to Ricardo. Was it Ricardo? We had a few trolls in. Nice try, people. Nice try. You can't get past the defence barrier that I've set up in the chat. There's no way getting around it. You might last 10 seconds. So keep trying. Keep trying. Tony Dixon. Tony D. Who is who? Yeah, Ricardo. It was Ricardo. Big shout out to Ricardo. And anyone I missed. Oh. Anyone I missed. I apologise. Yeah, any of them come in straight away, get them out. If they come in with like a dot something, it just says like VXT dot something, just ban them straight away. He's Red off. Take care, Red. Have a good day, dude. Good weekend. Damn. Yeah, this is 1992, guys. Can you imagine? It's just crazy. Ahead of its time again. That's cool. Cool, Darren. I'm glad you're still here, man. Crazy, Red, right? 30 years old, man. 19 years old, this track is. You could play this now in a club. Right, next track going out to Suits. I think it's one of his favourites. Atheist Rex, yeah, I remember Atheist Rex. I was in a hangout a couple of times with Atheist Rex. And who was the other guy? Garnish, Richard Garnish, and A4. Yeah, I remember. I was in Flat Earth Debates hangout once with those guys, and I made A4 literally cry. A4 started crying. He had a mason's ring on, and I asked him, I said to him, so you know about the degree levels in masonry? And he just freaked out on me. Started saying I'm going to commit suicide. This was all live. I was just like, what the hell, man? A4 was crazy. Right, next one is going out to the one like Suti, who's in the house. Yeah, I remember John, I remember. He got so much fucking stick for that, didn't he? Got so much stick for that. Yeah, this track brings back so many memories, Suits. It really does, man. Great memories. Amanda remembers, Chill remembers. One man, I think he went out a few times. Suits went out, used to go out, I used to go out. There's a lot of old school raves in here, Jax. Can't forget Jax, we're missing you, Jax. Wherever you are, moving. Hope the move's going okay. Can't forget Jim. I know Jim was hot. He was out there doing the rounds, like Jim. like I was. Jim was out there doing the rounds. I hope it goes smoothly for her anyway, because it can be quite stressful moving. You know that, Amanda. You just moved. I've just moved. You know, it is stressful. Yeah, chill. Ibiza 6 times, man. It's like Ibiza 6 times. Great. That's dedication, man. That really is. Big up the Chilster in the house. And Red smashed it as well in our Ibiza. Damn. Red did 5 years in Ibiza. That's crazy as well. I had mates that were playing out there in Ibiza at that time. They were going out and DJing. She's been sorting out. Yeah, that's all the electric and getting all that put back on and the water and everything. It really is annoying. No, I just did all the London and surrounding counties. They're all the raves I went to. Well, I had a choice to go to Ibiza or Holland. I chose to go to Holland. Yeah, London surrounding counties, right? A few aircraft hangars, I remember, man. I was so smashed out a lot of these places. It's hard for me to recall it. But brilliant times, right? Just unbelievable. Can't really explain it unless you... And Brendan I think went out a couple of times. Man of the night. Come on, man, the man of the night. I don't know anyone that's won a competition for man of the night. That's cool. That's cool, Si. That's cool. In Ibiza as well, of all places. Alright, guys. Alright. Let's turn that off. Alright, it's been a good one today, people. I've really enjoyed it. Much appreciation to the guys that come into the Hangout. Massive shout out to the chat, and have a great weekend. I'll see you Tuesday. Till then, take care. I know Dale was on during the week. Is he on tonight? Is he going to be swatting more globetards? I hope he is. If so, I'll see you guys there, probably around 6ish, if he is on. Okay? Take care. Have a great weekend.